Okay. We'll see how this new colors work with the lighting. Let me turn off the overhead. And it's a sunny day, so we got lots of light coming in. Hi, Icy. Good morning. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. In case Rachel's in the background. Let's see. Beth, CK, Deb E, Tina, Barbara. Hey, Starbuck. It's been a while. Hang on. Let me answer my sister here. It's good to see you. Are you okay? I haven't seen you in a while. Hi, Janet. How you doing? Scrap Girl, Nashua, good to see you. Good to see everybody. Yeah, the light kind of got a little dark now. Let's brighten it back up again, back and forth. There we go. That looks pretty good. I think the sun going in and out of the clouds is changing the lighting every time. And I have my bright lights on, but it's still changing it every time. There we go. Let's see. Linda Renz. Who else is here? Anybody else I missed? Let me get a sip of lemon water. Here come the cats. Well, here comes Malibu. She's going to change my lighting again. Hi, Terry Brett. Let's see. I'm good. Thank you. I see. Let's see. Melody loves her hobby. CNP. I always like to say good morning to as many people as I can when we first boot up. Shelly. Yeah, it's good to see you, Starbuck. Haven't seen you in a while. Hi, Maseki. Let's see, Shelly. Who else? So look, just gonna lay right there on my journals. Kellyanne. Anybody else popping in? Just Kel. Okay, Kellyanne says just Kel. Let's see. She's just a purring. Just a purring. I don't know if y'all can hear her purring, but Karen. She was sleeping in my chair. I had to move her because I had to sit in my chair. Hi, Alice. But that didn't stop her from coming back up here. So how's everybody doing? Janet, you still streaming at 1 today? Just making sure so I don't tell everybody you are if you're not. So yeah, I pulled hi Tina. I pulled out some collage journals, and you want me to lay that down? There you go. I pulled out some collage mixed media journals to work in. Last year, y'all know I worked in all my little miniature journals. Well, they're the bigger than the TN size, but they're small and thin. I spent most of all last year working in those. And I probably worked in, I have more, but I probably worked in about 10 of them all last year. You know, my Alice, my Asian, my garden, I'm looking over there, my Art Nouveau, the color one. So I worked in those almost all last year, but I haven't worked in my collage journals for a while. Well, I mean, I did a couple times last year, but not much. So I pulled all the journals. There's 2, 4, 5, 6. And this is not my sketchbooks. This is just my mixed media collage journals. I pulled 6, including 2 sort of new one. Well, actually, I pulled 7 if you include this little one. So I started a new one. I had an older one, and then y'all seen these before. I'll kind of do a little flip through them a little bit. And so, oh wait, I did pull some other ones. I did pull my other mixed media ones. I forgot about these down here and some collage. So, yeah, I pulled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I have 11. I pulled 11 books that I'm going to try to work in. Now the other four on the floor, the four on the floor, I probably I probably won't work in those that much this year, but I don't know. But I pulled those four. Human movie stimulated. I know, right, Tina? So I did pull 11 journals that I have go. And I see that's the thing about my journals is they're ongoing all the time. Just like those ones, those 10 or whatever I worked in last year, I'll still work in them. But I just kind of make a little plan to work in, a group of them. So I always have them. I'm always working in them, but sometimes it might be every other year. Hi, Ashley. Let's see who else. Yes, I know. And that's the thing. I was telling Hubster, when I'm streaming and just sitting here and talking for 3 hours, I know she thinks I'm just talking to her. She doesn't see any other people in the room. She just thinks I'm just sitting here talking to her for 3 solid hours. Whether she's up here or on the floor next to me. She just thinks, oh, well, mom's talking to me. So, So, let's see. Did Janet say that she was going to stream? Let me scroll back. Let me scroll. I'm sure she is. I'm sure she's going to stream unless she just had company come in. Yes. Okay. Janet is streaming. So y'all, there's her. That's the name. You click on that. And oh, well, you just go by that name and you'll find her. And she streams at 1 Eastern. So yeah, I try to get done between 11:30 and 12 and then, have lunch and everything. Hubster comes home for lunch and then we go to Janet's at 1. So, let's see, Missy. Who else am I missing? Dawn, Ashley. I'm sure there's people coming in I miss. Hi, Canadian artisan Carol. Hi, Pacola, my little snapdragon. We were at Xandra's last night about 4 to 5:30, something like that. And Janet was popping in a link. And I said, Pacola's rubbing off on you because she was quick on that link. I don't think there's any mods that are quicker than Pacola. Just saying. She's a snapdragon, that one. Let's see. Although Tina's good about putting in like the link, saying hi to everybody. Let me go back to one way back. Here we go. Tina's good about doing this sort of thing, saying hi to everybody. Janet is good at the snark. Janet keeps us hopping and laughing. No pressure, Janet. No pressure. Let's see. Northern Lights. So anyway, I'm going to do a little flip. I'm not going to show every single page. I say that, and then I'd end up flip. But I might go back to my oldest ones first, which is the 4 that I was just talking about. I did pull a few collage sheets. I know some of them y'all have seen before. Are you going to move, baby? Okay, you can move. Come on. All right, let's move you off the table for a minute. There you go. You can lay down here. Fur flying. Some of the collages that I've done. Let's get the light again because now that the big white blob is gone, I got to turn the brightness down a little. Some of these that I worked on or have worked on and still work on, off and on. This is one of my favorites here. I love this one, the little astronauts roaming around there. But anyway, I love doing my collage stories, world building with collage. And so these are some 12 by 12 ones. This one, I really love this one. It's not done. And every time I show it, I go, I got to fix this. I got to do that. But anyway, I really like this one. So anyway, so I pulled some of the books and some of the collage. And And I got some fodder at the ready, so we can do something in one of these books or so, So they're mixed media. So it's collage, it's paint, it's drawing, it's painting, it's a little bit of everything. So if y'all have any questions, put it in caps so I know you're talking to me. The mods are good about answering questions about, like, I use golden matte medium, or so if you have questions, they're good about all that. Hello, Gary's Mixed Bag. Just popping in to offer my support. Well, thank you. Let me click on. Thank you, Gary's Mixed Bag. Do I follow you? Do I follow you, Gary? I'll have to go see if I follow you. I do scrub through the chat later in the day. On Mondays, it's usually in the evening because I go to Janet's at 1. But I do scrub through the chat to see if I miss new people and go follow other creators. Let me get my voice going here. I haven't seen Rachel, so she may be busy, but I like to do my little ASMR for Rachel, whether it's ice, lemon water, or if it's pencils. Speaking of pencils, according to Zandra, who talked to one of her art store peeps, they said, and we'll see, and she'll be the first to go, well, I didn't know, I'm just telling y'all what I heard, that Prismacolor is going to stop, and I haven't looked it up, I haven't researched it. They're going to stop selling individual pencils, open stock, that they're only going to sell the the box, the sets. They're only going to sell the sets. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it's true in everywhere, all over the whole world. I don't know. But I can tell you that I did order me another box of 12 white pencils. I don't really need them right now. I've still probably got about 10. I probably got about 10 white pencils, but that's the one pencil in Prismacolor that I cannot do without, is the white. No other pencil covers like the white. I mean, that is just, there's no other white pencil out there that I've found, even the most expensive brands, that matches Prismacolor. So I ordered 12. I think it's a dozen in a box. I ordered a box. So the rest of the colors, I'll make do. But I did get a couple of those purples that are supposedly being discontinued. And then I ordered a box of whites just in case they are really stopping the open stock. Okay, so let's see what else we got going on here. Oh, there's Rachel. Good morning, Rachel. I did a little ASMR for you. Let's see. I said I had Terry Bread. Who else? Shelly Allred. Teresa. You bought a big pack too. You did too, Starbuck? Just in case. I can make do with a lot of pencils in other companies, other brands. But the white pencil, I don't know. I stocked up on that one. So let's see. I'm going to like it a Posca color. Okay. I got to say, Tina, you recommended them and I bought them. I've not used them yet, except to swatch. I swatched them, Tina, but I've not used them. If y'all want to see those later, today's really not a pencil day. It's not a pencil day, but I'm talking about the Prismas, because if they do stop selling open stock, I want y'all to know to get some, at least get the white ones. Go order you some white ones, or go to Michael's, Hobby Lobby, wherever you buy them, and get some white ones, because if it's the case, you don't want to have to keep buying sets to get that one white pencil. Yeah. So, but I did get them. I did get the Posca. I think it's 36 in a set. Y'all want to see them real quick? I'll show them to you. But I'm not going to use them today, because today's not pencil day. I do have another something I want to show y'all on Wednesday. I'm going to enable again on Wednesday, but I can't, I'm not going to speak for them yet, because I have not, let me get them up here. I've not used them. Tina says that they're good. So, wait. Sorry, guys. I'm bumping the camera with my little thing here. I saw a marker go flying. I don't know where it went. I saw it. Oh, is that it? Okay. I had this sitting up on top. So I did get the Poscas. Like I said, all I've done is swatch them. They come in a kind of an odd case. It's odd in the sense that you really have to use this rubber band to keep them closed. Here's the cover, and it does come. I cut this down so it would fit, but it does come with a list here because the numbers and colors. Well, there's a number on the end, but they're not written on here. But they give you a little plastic coated swatch list. And so here's the cover, and you can see my camera up in there. And the trays are like this. There's 3 trays. There's 36 colors, and they're put out by Posca. So, I love my Poscas, my Posca markers, right? And but Tina said these were good, so I said I'll get them. So, okay, yeah, I know, but I don't know that I want to take them out because I got the list of the colors. It's not written on there, but these are the colors. There's this set here, this tray. There's this tray. We'll do them. We'll swatch them, and I'm sure other people have swatched them out there. Go Lindsay, probably the Frugal Crafter, because she swatches. She does everything, but I'm sure there's other color book girls out there and guys that have swatched the Poscas and showed y'all how they work and blend and all that. I've not worked with them enough to really give an opinion on them. So, but they stack like this. They stack nice in the tray. But then you got to put this lid on that doesn't, if you tip this, it's all falling apart. So see, they don't lock in. So it comes with this. It does come with this band. So, yeah, it comes with this band. You can get them on Amazon. And Posca pencils. All right. Then I did, because we're doing collage, I did put my Golden Matte Medium. I finally emptied out my dish soap bottle. And this is perfect. It doesn't have to be this size. It could be any brand of top that has a flip lid. If you put your matte medium in this, it's so much easier than trying to pour some out of the jar and then put some plastic or wax paper over the top and then put the lid back on, because it's so easy to glue the lid of the matte. Let me get my jar here. One of my jars. Where's my, here it is. So this one's almost empty because I poured it in here. So, but this is what I use to glue and do collage, Golden Matte Medium, and you can get smaller jars than this. This is what's left over of Janet's. She gets me this for my birthday. But anyway, so this is the only glue I use for gluing down collage. Now you'll see in some of my books that I will use just a glue stick to tack it down until I get back to it, but when I want to glue a collage piece, this is all I use is Golden Matte Medium. Now, if after I've glued everything down and finished a collage, and then I say, oh, I really want to glue that little bit of something down, then I will just take my Eileen's Tacky and just glue that down with some tacky glue. But overall, I use my Golden Matte Medium. So if you put it in a dish soap thing like this, you can just pop it and pour out what you want, and it doesn't dry, it doesn't shut the lid. Whereas this, you're going to have to put some plastic on and then the lid so you don't glue the lid shut. Okay, so there's that. We like to be thorough. Because people ask, and I like to make sure everybody knows everything. Is almost empty. Yes, Tina. So when it gets empty, then wash it out really good. I mean, get all the soap out. Make sure it's really desudsed, and then just pour it in. Because this comes off, so then you can pour it in there, and it's just so much easier to use your matte medium in a bottle like this than it is to pour it out. And so I had the last one I had for some years until it finally did get really crusty. So I finally threw it away after I used up the end of it. So new fresh one. Okay, let's see what else. Smith had given me this cup for Christmas, this little a tin. She gave me a tin cup for Christmas of different coffee makers. So this is my new gold, my new tacky glue holder. I used to have a little thin, skinny glass. It got really crusty. So again, things get crusty after a while, just like we do. Right, Janet? We get crusty. So anyway, if as long as you make sure you keep the tip on there, and if you finish a bottle, if you finish a bottle of tacky glue and you're going to throw it away, keep one of these or keep some of these tips, because I can't tell you how many times I've lost one of these little tips, and then then it's hard to. I was going to say something, but I won't say that. But anyway, so keep some extras of the caps somewhere, like whatever you have, a little thing where you keep just little stuff, and keep some of those caps. So if you lose one, you've got an extra. But if you keep the jar like this, then the glue is always ready to go. So if you keep it on its side, you got to squeeze it and shake it, especially when it gets down, gets down less. So if you have some place just to keep it in a jar like this, so this is what my new tin cup's going to be for, is my tacky glue. Okay. Let's see. Am I missing anything? Make me think of camping. Yeah, Tina. Yeah. I do actually have one of those silver metal ones that kind of, it's like a canteen cup, and it's got the metal handles that come around and you hold. Yeah, I got one of those. Let's see. Yeah. Thanks, Tina. We would take that as a compliment. Hi, Annie Tanner. How you doing? Let's see, Arlene. Hi, Arlene. Hope you're doing well. I love my little. I cannot wait to do a Barbie photography with that. With my cart. Let me show y'all again. Look what Arlene got me. A Barbie shopping cart with the wheels move and everything. Isn't that adorbs? So I can't wait to do a Barbie photography with this. Let's see what else. And then Julie Topaz sent me a book of stamps and an article about axolotls. I haven't read it yet, but I thought that was really cool. I'm going to have to put this in one of my note-taking journals. This has to go in there. So thank you, Julie, for that. Okay, I'm looking around, seeing what else. Is there anything else I need to show or tell before we get started on the journals and the collaging? The last collage I did on stream was this, and I did pull out a couple posters. So if later on, if somebody has not seen some of my posters, I'll pull those out too. But this was the last one we did on stream, was this one, and we did it with little doors. So these all have a little door that open. I still haven't figured out what kind of little, some kind of little something to close them, or maybe not. I don't know. And this is posted on IG too, so it's done on just some poster board. So yeah, so there's my little doors there, and there's my little lady in the shell coming up to the doors. So this was the last one we did on stream, I think. So the last collage that we did on stream. Let's see. Do you went to the grocery store? No, I haven't done that yet, Raj. I wouldn't be past it, putting it up there with the fruit and vegetables and having Barbie just walk, and Hubster might walk 5 feet behind me when I do that, but I have to go by myself when I do that. All right, so let's see how we doing on the lighting. Looks okay. It changes because of the sun coming in and out of my window. All right, so these three are a little older. Actually, this fourth one, I've had for a few years. This one I started last year. Well, I said 21. It must have been probably the very end of 21, and did it through 22. And I didn't finish it, of course, but it doesn't bother me. If this goes into 24, I'll just dash 24. Oh, thanks, Tina. So this is just one of the little, okay, wait, I did tell Janet about this. So last week I gave away, I bought extra sets of this size and type of the composition book that go vertical, right? Where this one that we've had these around for some years that go horizontal. And I bought a bunch of these and bought extras so that I could do some giveaways. Well, and I did give away one in the US. And I told y'all when I went to the post office, I'd asked my post office lady how much one of these would be. I put it in an envelope because I sent one out as a giveaway last week to a US person, right? So I said, what's already all in the envelope and everything. I said, how much would this be to send to the UK? You know how much it costs to send one of these to the UK in an envelope? Almost $8. I said, well, we won't be sending these to the UK because you can buy all these on Amazon for $8 or well, maybe 10 or 12, but still. You can buy all this for the price that it costs to ship one international. So if y'all international girls like these, then go look on your Amazon UK, Amazon CA, and look and see if you can get them because I will not be shipping these. So I am still going to do giveaways of these for US, and then I'll do different giveaways for international. Like last week, I was giving away some of the fabric from Amore Fabrique Selena, which she is sending me some nice samples, and I'll use some of those too for giveaways. Those are easy to ship a piece of, like Cantha cloth or something like that. But this is $8. $8 to ship one of these. So, well, we're going to go do that. But I did find out. I did ask and did find out. So anyway, back to this. This is one that I did over last year. Let's see those. Button on the top are sold at Amazon, but you can still get the side buys. Okay, well, it's probably because everybody's getting them right now. They'll come back. I know they are. What size are they? They are, they're both the same size. Just one's horizontal, one's vertical. I got my I have well, you can see it here. Quilting cutting mat here that I can see at the bottom. It has a ruler, so I can just go down here and measure. 7.5 by just under 5. 5 by 7.5 is probably what it's listed as. And it's this way or this way. So now these I got at Walmart over the years. Every year when like July, when the school supplies come out, Walmart has these. This is the Pen and Gear brand. This is the Walmart brand. And as far as I know, they only come in black and white. That's the only ones I've seen in this format. The vertical ones I got off of Amazon, and they're the same size. Okay, so there we go. There's Tina saying there's $7.25 for a pack. Yeah, and I think there's 6 in it. I don't know. Is there 6 in a pack? So anyway, so this is one that I did, and it does want to flash out. I'm trying to kind of tilt it so it doesn't. The light wants to flash out. Now, a lot of times, and I did not pull any of my abandoned altered books out. You know that when those get completed and when I have time, I varnish those with a gloss varnish, water-based gloss varnish. None of these have been varnished. But you can varnish them so that they look really nice, especially if you're going to do like I'm working in my different abandoned altered books. If y'all have not seen them, just go look in my playlist under altered books or abandoned altered books, either one of those, and you'll see where I've shown them tons. I always hesitate to pull them all back out again because everybody goes, I've seen those like just last month. So anyway, this is just a mini one. And you can see how flat, look how flat the pages are. They're and you know how thin they are. Look, you know how thin they look. This is what they kind of look like until you do the back side. They're they're school paper thin. School paper crunchy thin. But by the time you put your collage, your paint, and your matte medium, because that's what I use is the matte medium, your pages are really, look, very flat. There's a little bit of wobble in that one, but I think that's just because I hadn't taken care of the book. But they're very flat. Let's see. It really doesn't matter where they're binded. We're gonna paint a collage over the lines. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. It doesn't matter that. That's true. If that's what you're going to use them for, if you're going to use them for collage, you're going to paint over all the lines. I just kind of like the other version. So if you want to do journaling, you know, or writing or another kind of art journal, and you're not filling the whole thing up with collage, then it's just kind of nice to have a different option. But if you're just going to collage in it, you can do this. You could do this vertical or horizontal, right? So let me just flip through this one real quick. So let's see. Let's see. Marvelous Money. Hi, Julie. I showed you axolotl article. I can't wait to put that in a journal. That's so cute. Thank you for sending that. Um, so I'm just today I'm showing my mixed media collage art journals, and we'll do something in them. I might just pick out a page that's partially done and work in it, which is usually what I do when I'm by myself. I will show you how I start a lot of these journals. And it is some work, but to me, it's just, I like doing it that way. And I'll show you here in a minute when we get to these. So these are just some of the other ones that I did last year. And so they start like something like this. And then I build on. This one's not done, but you can see how it's built up with paint. And then here's another one that's just got some done. And let's see, what else do I have? And then this is the last one I have done in here, is the owl. So it's mixed media in the sense that, I got an owl glued down and everything else is paint. So, and again, you can varnish them with gloss varnish if you want them to look really nice. They do look really nice when you varnish them. I think I have a couple. All right, look, now that I showed this one, let me go back to my oldest ones. And these are not my abandoned books. These are started from scratch. Oh, and I also have this to show. Sorry, guys. Another sip of my water here. For a while, we were doing these giant cards. These are available. They were available at Hobby Lobby. I don't know if they still have them. They were really inexpensive for a deck, a whole deck of cards. And these are, let me measure it on here. They were 14, about just over 14, maybe 14 and a half by 10. So these are 10 by 14 and a half, and started doing collages on these. Again, this one would look awesome when it's varnished. Okay, let me turn down the bright, shiny. There we go. There we go. The light wants to flash everything out, because I think it's because I put this darker board down from the lighter one I had. And so the light wants to, flash out. So I'm going to keep adjusting it as we go. But I did this collage on the card a few months ago. So to varnish it, it'll look really nice. And some of the ones that I'm going to show you in these journals, these have been varnished. Now I'm not going to show page by page, but I'll show a bulk of them just so you know. So these are the Dilutions journals. Is that right? The right lady? Diane Reevely. Is it Diane? Yeah. Diane Reevely's journals. And let me move those out of the way. And I have altered the covers to make them look different leather-esque. So I have these two with the red leather. I have this one with the brown, reddish, dark leather. And then I did a collage one. And you can see this one's been varnished. So you see how they look when they're all nice and varnished. Hi, Nanette. Oh, just searching for my glasses on top of my head. You think that's bad? I've actually been talking to Janet, and well, I've done it, I think probably with Denise too, but me and Janet get into these discussions, and I'm talking to Janet, I'm going, we're blah, 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 and I'll say, I got to show you something. Wait, let me look for my phone. I can't find my phone. And we're talking on the phone. So don't feel bad about having your glasses on your head when I'm literally talking on my phone saying, oh, I got to find my phone to show you a picture. To message you a picture, Janet. I'm going to message you a picture, but I can't find my phone. Okay, so these are quite old. I've had these for a lot of years. Let me see if I have any dates in the beginning of some. I think I have the date in the first one. I don't remember which one that was. Is it this one? 2015. This one's 2015. Oh, here, 2013. So this is probably the oldest one. Then this one, then that one, and then this one. And there's just, you can see there's different amounts done in them. This one's got up to there. This one's pretty full. This one, not a lot. This one has got quite a bit in it, but they're probably not finished. So, but I like having lots of different journals, and I go back and forth with them. It does not bother me to work in one journal 10 years later. However, I was going to make a point about that, but I don't remember. I got, you get on these on the roll, and so anyway, these are just some of the oldest ones that I have. They're not the oldest, not from back when I first started showing mixed media collage. How I used to do collage was I would do a collage for the purpose of using that collage as a sketch to do a painting. And those paintings are in the closet right now, so I can't show them to you. But I would take a collage. Oh God, I got to turn that brightness down. I don't know if I need to move that big light. It's really flashed out. That's a little better. So I would take a collage like this, and I would do an acrylic painting of it. Not necessarily exactly. This would just be like my sketch. This would be like my sketch to do a painting from. And then when we started streaming in 2010, then I started doing collages just for the sake of collages and putting them in art journals, because that way we could all share. It takes a while to do a collage. It takes a while to do an acrylic painting based off of one of my collages. So I really don't do those anymore. Because I just don't have the time, between what we do here in streaming and art journaling and my commissions of portraits, people and pet portraits. I don't have time to make paintings for myself based off of my collages when I'm just really liking my collages just as much just by themselves. So I don't use them as sketches anymore. I use them as finished pieces. And sometimes I'll make a print out of them or something. But anyway, this one's from 2013. And so I don't really want to show every page, but you know how I am. So maybe I should zoom in. Is that close enough, guys, or should I zoom in one? Let me see. I'm trying to keep it. Yeah, that might be a little better. Let's turn the brightness down again just a little and maybe refocus. How's that? How's that look? Does it look clear enough? I'm trying to see. Thank you, Tina. So I'm going to just kind of flip through again. These were from 2013. This is my first art journal this type of thing. I mean, I've done collages in other books and stuff and altered books and things, but I think these were my first. No, they weren't. Well, all right. I'll say that they're my first books of collage, because before this, I was using the Canson mixed media sketchbooks to do the same thing. But these are my first 4 books, other than my altered books, because I did the altered books too. So, yeah. And, I go back and forth. So anyway, so these are some of my older ones in books. And they're varnished, so you can see the shine. They have gloss varnish over them. And so they are some of these, not all of them. They're all not. Hi, Keisha. They're not all going to be varnished, but you can kind of get an idea. So these are, like I said, from 2013. And so varnished. So they look so nice when they're varnished. I love varnishing my abandoned books. My, when I say abandoned books, I mean books like, I don't mean that they've been thrown away. I mean like abandoned places books like these. Hang on, let me grab one. Don't knock over the lamp, baby. Don't knock over the lamp. I mean abandoned places books. And I have probably 12, 15 of these kind of books where I alter these and do, and I'm not going to show these today because I've shown them so many times. And I usually, when I do show them, I show my process and then I show the original before I before I change them. But that's what I mean when I say abandoned books. They're different abandoned places, castles, sacred places. I think I don't know, 12, 15 of these too that I work in over the years. But I'm showing these to you today because these started from scratch. So, so like I said, these are from 2013. So these are older. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them. I've done lots of flips of these books over the years. Pacola probably gets sick of me showing them because she puts in the links like, Dee Dee, you've got playlists for most of these. So anyway, and these are real sturdy pages. These are real thick pages. They're thick pages to begin with. I just bought a better book now. Need the courage to work in it. Well, Terry, if you're scared to, then get two. You can usually get them, like I get them really cheap. Well, I haven't bought them for a while because I have so many. But when I was buying them, and I would buy, and people had also gifted me some duplicates. So when I'm showing the one, but that's just for me, not because I wasn't as scared. I wasn't as scared to work in because I was working them before I had duplicates. But it's nice to be able to on stream show a before and after, right? So now that's all that I've got varnished. So here's what I want to tell you. If you want to do one of these books like this, whether it's in one of these books, in a smaller size, whatever size, this is how I like to do it. Now, I don't do it necessarily sit down and do it in one sitting. I might do 10, 20 pages and then come back and do 10 or 20 another day or switch to another book. See, it just does. Oh, that's what I was going to say. It doesn't bother me to not complete a book, and I don't feel like I have to do it in order either. I might work on this page 5 years, 10 years after the book is started. If something draws me to this, I'll just work on this, And also, if you are working in some kind of a book that has a binding, you can see this one's a little warped. This was my first one in this. I've done the magazine journals and lots of other types of books where I've done reverse collage. And what I call reverse collage is where, like in a magazine, you'll have a page of artwork or whatever, and you paint it out. Same thing for the abandoned books. I'll have a piece in the abandoned book, a bridge or whatever, and I'll paint out everything I don't want. So I'm reversing the collage. So that's what I call reverse collage, is I'm painting out what I don't want. So, but what you really need to do, and I know a lot of people like to work front to back and not skip and just get one page done and go to another. But if you do that, you're going to warp your spine. The spine does not hold up by working straight through to the back. You really need to do some in the front, some in the back, middle, back, front, and move back and forth so that you don't warp the spine. And it will happen in any kind of bound book if you just work straight front to back. All right, let's see what's going on. I'm trying to watch chat. I don't see anybody talking to me in caps, so I'm kind of just skimming through chat, but I don't see anybody directly talking to me other than saying good morning, like Keisha, good morning. Let's see, Northern Lights, Amira, Raj. Who else am I missing? Thanks, everybody, for being here. So if you're just joining us, I'm talking about and showing my collage, mixed media, altered collages, and not my altered books in the sense of my abandoned books. These are not pre-done books that I'm altering. They're just books I'm collaging and doing mixed media. So what I'll do is I will go through a book, regardless of the size. I will go through it. And let's just say I've harvested a bunch of magazine images, or I have a bunch of collage fodder, and I want to build a world. Well, I'll look how you can see how everything here is purple and blue. I'll go through and I'll just glue things down. I'll glue it all down. And I know that later just based on some color combinations, I will go back and create a world out of it. If you don't like something, you just paint it out. I always wanted to go around and take pictures of all the abandoned barns. Well, you do that, Tina. As far as my abandoned books go, most of my books that I've altered are by Kieran Connolly. And anytime I do a page in one of my abandoned books, I always tag him, and he likes them. I've actually torn out one of my pages out of one of the books and sent it to him via his publisher, and they took a Instagram and posted a picture of holding it. So they'll apparently like it because I give them credit, and I'm sure it helps sell the books, even though you're altering them. I have two. If it's not gifted to me, I buy a second one. So I have at least 10 different, abandoned places. A lot of them by Kieran Connolly. He's in the UK. And he was, I don't know where he lives right now, but I always tag him anytime I do an altered piece in his book. In his books, I will tag Kieran Connolly. So, okay, so back to this. So I will do a whole bunch of just gluing down. I'll just sit and watch somebody stream or something. Let's see, Abigail. We can need some inspiration. Visit the library, check out some. Yeah, now don't alter the books you check out of the library, Abigail. Not that you would. Abigail, y'all need to follow. Abigail does some amazing work. She's in the Netherlands, or last I heard, she was in the Netherlands. So, yeah, let's see. Kathy Berg. Who else am I missing? So these are just starters, and I did these back in 2013. So you can see they still have ways to go. Then this one now I did in 2017. I completed it. I put the date of the completion on here. Now this has not been varnished, so you can see it's very matte because I cover everything with matte medium. When I glue everything down, it's all done with my golden matte medium. But after it's all said and done, I'll put a gloss, water-based gloss varnish over things like you see in these. See how shiny they are? And it gives it a nice cohesiveness to it. Because sometimes the things you glue down, some might be matte, some might be shiny. But if you're gluing everything down with golden matte medium, then everything becomes matte. Okay, you've got a coat of matte medium on the whole thing. Baby, you're going to have to get down. I'm so sorry. You just have to get down. You're putting a shadow on everything. And then when I'm done with them, I'll varnish them, and then everything's nice and shiny. So it just depends on what you like, right? It just depends on what you like. So I'll go through a book and just glue things down. Look, I've got this whole, I say that, and there's 2-3 pages there that's nothing on it. But I'll glue things down, and then I'll go back and work on them. And again, these are mostly from 2013 started and then continued. I like that owl one was 2017. But you can see what happened to my spine. It's warped because I started painting and gluing and working just from front to back mostly, and it warps the spine. So just be aware that will happen. All right, so then the next one, what was the next one? Was it this one, I think? Let's see, do I have a date in it? That's 2016. This one is, okay, so this is 2015. They're all the same books. They're all the same, what do you call it? Dilutions journals that have the cover, the inside has a pocket in there that's a manila color pocket, and the spine is already red. That comes that way. And it comes just like this. I've just altered the covers. I've just altered all the covers. So, all right. So this one has, and then this one, I did color book pages and mixed media. So the other one you saw had no color book pages. This one, starting in 2015, I started incorporating some color book pages along with my mixed media and altered stuff. I'd never done that before, that I know. What kind of journal is it? It's the it's very thick paper, Beth. It's like cardstock weight, very heavy paper. Over 110 weight at least, I think. It's cardstock. and it's in the Dilutions journal. And I don't have one. Wait a minute. I have a small one I can show you. This is what they look like, except bigger. It's these. The creative journal Dilutions. They look just like this, except this is a bigger version. It's the exact same thing. Okay, just a different size. I haven't done anything in that one yet. So, all right. That's what they look like. It is good paper. It's nice thick paper. So, and these are not varnished. This is one of my drawings. So I drew him, added some collage, you know, and this has got stencil and dilution sprays. And that's another thing too. If you're working in mixed media and you're working in some kind of book like this, and you do, let's say you do watercolor or water base, if you need to test it before you start putting your gloss varnish over the final piece, because you might move it. Okay, you might move, you know, it might move with water. So you test your supplies before you just start slopping on a bunch of, you know, varnish and ruin your piece. Okay, so these are just all a little bit of different, you know, they're the same kind of thing, but like, for instance, here's just a girl out of a magazine. This just her head and the flower. And then this little piece right here, this is a piece out of a magazine. And then all this I painted. I painted it in to blend, to paint in the scene. So, and I don't say that any of these are really done. This is some giraffes out of a Creative Haven color book. And so a couple more. I'm going to give y'all all the tips as we go, because I wanted y'all to succeed if you try any of this. If you're going to use color book pages in an art journal like this or a mixed media journal, you can cut it out or color it in the book, but don't cut it out and glue it in and then try to color it, especially if it's in a mixed media book. Because if you cut out, if you take, let me find a piece of paper. I think I might have, well, let's see. Let me just see if I can get a piece of regular old paper somewhere. Here we go. Well, do I have just a piece of copy paper anywhere? No. Let me see if I got one up here. Let me just, all right. Oh, wait, there's one. All right. So the reason, grab a couple color pencils, or a color pencil. Let me get a dark color. So if you have a color book page, like this, you know, giraffes, and you cut them out, glue them in your page, and then start, oh, thanks, Kathy, and then start coloring them. And again, putting that white paper there, just really flash that out. There we go. And then start coloring on top of things you've done. This is what's going to happen, just like you do a rubbing. So you're coloring that giraffe, and all of a sudden you got all this other stuff going on. So make sure if you put color book pages in an art journal that you cut it out. You can cut it out and then just, you know, keep it over here on a paper or something to color it, or color it in the book and then cut it out and then glue. Okay. But don't cut it out, because I have one or two samples of that in here where I've done that. And then you start coloring and you're going to get like a rubbing, right? You're going to get like a rubbing on it. So, yeah, so these are color book pages. Again, this is from 2015. And it's got a little everything. I was going crazy with the dilution sprays at this moment. You know, a lot of sprays, and probably scraping with the card. You know, you can take your cards and scrape down your paint, or a palette knife. You know, there's just so much. There's so much you can do. So these are just a little, like, here's another color book. Well, this isn't actually a color book page. This is from one of those books called Dover, you know, clip art book. Clip art books are the original color books. And so here's a, I haven't glued her down, but this is a page out of a color book. And I had already done the background, or maybe I did it in combination. But anyway, I really liked her on this page. So, but here's a piece of a color book that's just got some paint on it. It's not been colored in, but it's just kind of a background piece. So it's all about her in this one. So, and it's just a little bit of everything. Color book page here, and then just different. I think that's a color book page there, and then some images, and then everything is painted in. I just use paint. I paint it all in, like you've seen my napkin journal. I do the same thing like I'm doing here with the color book, but with napkins, decorative napkins. I glue those down and then make a scene. I make a scene. Make a scene with paint. So these are all in just different stages. Color book pages, and just different. That's a color book page. But some of it, like, I just like it just like it is. I don't even care if I ever do anything else to it. I like the combinations, I like the colors, I like the shapes. It's fine to me because a lot of it's just ideas, it's just I could use lots of ideas for all this too. There's a little pirate girl that's got glitter on her. She was out of a color book. And so again, this has got more color book type stuff in it. Sprays, stencils, more color book pages, and these are out of a color book, and they're just in different stages of completion. But I like looking at them. It's inspiring. If I don't know something to do, I could pull out any of these books and flip through one of them, and I'll be on to something. I'll find something to do. So you can see how they kind of start out. If you go with some color themes when you glue things down. This is a steampunk couple out of the Creative Haven steampunk. So I colored them, cut them out, glued them down, and then made a time tunnel, made a whole time scene here. And don't be afraid when you glue something down. If you're going to paint, just paint right over it. Don't be afraid. Don't be fearing to put some paint over it. But yes, Jane, let's make a scene. Hi, Design Do-Overs, Melissa G. Who else? Hi, Angie, Melissa. Anybody else coming in? So, but I really I like this couple. Can call this one complete, except it has not been varnished yet. So, and I say this every time I flip to this. This is one of my favorite pages out of these books. I love this page. It's not done. I don't know why. I just love everything about it. I just love this page. I guess I'm thinking, oh, this would make a great painting. I'm thinking back to taking a collage as a sketch and turning it into a painting. I could so make this into a painting. But, there's only so much time. Colleen sent me some tags. I don't usually put dimensional things in my books either. But in this case, I put these tags and things that Colleen sent me. I put those in there. So, but anyway, like I said, these are back from 2015, unless I finish something and put a date on it. There's another steampunk girl, stencils, and just, whatever. They're art journals. They're fun. They're colorful. These little fish were in a color book, and I colored them and cut them out. And the stencil right here was an alphabet stencil, and it just looks so much like an aquarium castle, So I just put the fish. I put the fish on that one. So again, she was out of a Creative Haven color book. Now I will not, if I have a hardback Hannah Carlson, $25 color book, those don't get cut up. These are like the Creative Haven you get for $2.99, That's the kind of color books I cut up and put in these books. So I've got a portal there. So these are just some things that I drew, And so yeah, just a little bit of everything. But if I ever start, and I have started, and I'll show you one that I started not too long ago. And what I do is I will start gluing things in. I'm going to finish these first. We're working up to where I am working in stuff now. Um, and I'll fill a book with just cutouts and glue stuff in, and then I'll go back and work. Oh, thanks, Star. All right, so the next one, this was 2016, and so these are all exact same books, just covered, painted, leather, faux leathered up, um, eh, but this one's from 2016. Now, some of these have been varnished. So don't varnish until you know you're done, because you cannot really go back over the varnish. You're just not going to you're not going to be able to, I guess you could, but then it's just don't. Just don't, just don't varnish till you know you've completed it. So, like this one's completed. I think instead of maps, I should make these collages in my new. I'm sure. Well, it's up to you. You got to, and that's what I tell people with when you want to alter a book. Like I like to do abandoned places, and again, I really want to show you a before and after, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to resist because I've shown them so many times. But what if you want to alter a book? Make sure it is a theme that you love. I love abandoned places, abandoned castles, and forests, and jungles, and whatever abandoned places. But if you don't, if it kind of creeps you out or you just don't like it, then don't get an abandoned places book to work in, because you will not finish it. I'm telling you, there's hundreds of pages in here. If you ever want to complete one of these, of which I think I'm working in 12, if I remember. I think I'm working in 12 different books. You will not finish any of them if you don't like the theme. So get something like Paris, or get cats and dogs, or get farmland, or whatever it is you like, because then you'll be more apt to finish a whole book on that theme, right? You won't finish a book if you don't like the theme. What's Keisha saying there? Let's see. Theme art books, no matter before nothing. Oh, well, thank you. That's nice, Keisha. Thank you. And if y'all don't follow Keisha, y'all need to follow Keisha, because she does some awesome marketplace shows on usually a couple of times a month. She just did one this last weekend. And so probably and she pops up. Just follow her so that you get notifications when she does her auction. Well, I say auctions. They're a marketplace where she sells different creators products and stuff. So yeah, it's always fun too. It's just fun. So even if you don't buy anything at her marketplace, it's fun to go to her videos, because her lives, because they're just fun. So follow Keisha's Creations. Okay, so all right, so here's how I'll start one out. In this case, it looked like I had a lot of flowers. And so, and I also love to do space, outer space, and time themes. I just like that. I like portals, time, space. I like those things. I love science fiction, the old school sci-fi. And so I put a lot of that in a lot of my pieces. I try to break away from it sometimes, but I can't hardly not, put a watch or a clock or some outer space. The other thing is I don't put a lot of people now, with the exception of the one with the color book, because my vision is when I'm doing these, and when people are going to look at them, I imagine you, a person in that world. So if you are in the world, you are the person. So that's what I hope to convey. And I just tell you, I want you to be in the vision, right? In the world. And so I don't put a lot of people in my worlds. I'm more apt to put animals than I am people, but I do occasionally put people in there. But for the most part, there's not a lot of people in them, because I want you to feel like you are in the world. You're immersed in it. So again, look at all the blue. So this would be all painted in, made a world out of. Here's one that's finished, although in this case, this part right here did not turn out. It looked like little jelly rolls or something, but I wanted it to look like wind. I love me some DigiArt. I love my Procreate, but I'm not adept at it, really. I like to mess around with it. I do a little bit of Procreate. But here's where people go, oh, AI art. No, no, no. I think some of the AI art is stunning. I love me some AI art. And I'm going to show you a little bit here. And I know there's controversy about, oh, it's stealing art, it's stealing images from other. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't look at it like that. Let me go on my IG. I'll show you one of my favorite AI artists. So all of y'all that are on an AI, you got your little AI, X with, or the circle with the red, line through it. No AI art. Don't email me. Don't email me. Okay. Just so this is one of my favorite AI artists. His name is Ben Myhre, Myhre, and his Instagram is Ben Myhre. I'm not sure how you pronounce his last name, but I'm going to show you some of this art. And people are saying, oh my gosh, I hate AI art. Well, I recognize AI art. It does kind of have a look of it. You can tell that it's AI art, artificial intelligence art. But look at this. I mean, let me just pick out a couple more of his. And I was talking to some of the, some comic guys and some of my other art guy friends. And I was using the comparison. If you are a gamer and you immerse yourself in a game, in a video game, to me, this is the same thing. I'm just immersing myself in an image rather than a game. And I know that my camera's glaring up there. I'm just immersing myself in this beautiful art. To me, it's a lot of it is just stunning. Let me, it's not any different than going into a game and seeing a beautiful world, seeing a beautiful world in a game. That's how I look at this. So that's just me. If you disagree, that's all right. You can look at it or not. But if you follow AI underscore community, it's AI or AI underscore art community, then there's all different people. These just happen to be Ben Myhre's work. So just for a few examples, because I think it's gorgeous. Okay, there we go. I'll get off my AI art. So anyway, that being said, I did this before I had Procreate, and I think, oh man, if I was could do the Digi and the Procreate, I could get that wind looking just so. So I can imagine, do how Procreate and Digi work can be transferred to my worlds. I can just see it. But I also realize my limitations. I could learn more Procreate or Photoshop and stuff. I could learn it if I took the time. But I just have too many ideas I want to get down that and I do practice my Procreate a little, but not near as much to do what I could do if I learned it better. So anyway, so this was 2016. There's another one. This one does have some glitter on it. You can see the glitter there. Well, stickles, glitter glue. This is one of my favorites. I love her. I love her praying, her vision. This is what she's seeing as she's praying. Stairs right there in the worlds. And you can make up your own story. Just like if you go look at a Salvador Dali, not comparing myself to Salvador Dali. I'm just saying I love surrealism. But if you go look at a Salvador Dali, you're making up your own story in your head. At least I do. When I'm looking at his work or other surrealists, I'm thinking in this world, what's going on? Who's this? What's that? That's what I'm envisioning when I'm looking at them. Thank you, Keisha. Hi, I said hi to Jane. So anybody else I might have missed coming in. So I'm always, when I'm looking at somebody's paintings, I'm envisioning the world and what they were thinking and what they were imagining when they were making it and what they were thinking about the world they created. So here's one, just this is how they start. They start like this. This is how they start. Paint, paint, paint. This is how I end up. And if some of them, I have a few in here that I just do not like, didn't work, didn't turn out, and it's like, oh well, that one didn't turn out, you know. So this one's been varnished. Now this is one of I don't do these too many times, but because you have to really concentrate to do this. But this is one that's reversible, so you can look at it this way or this way. So either way it works. But that's a little more concentration. So I don't do a lot of these. It's just not, it's not my thing, but I do a few of them every now and then. And so anyway, this is kind of how they look when they start. So just different stages, different, and golden matte medium as opposed to, and I have not used, what's that other glue called? I haven't used that for a long time, so maybe they've improved the formulation. Mod Podge. I do not use Mod Podge, especially in journals. It will make your pages stick, or at least it used to. And I know people go, well, you can wax it, you can put down baby powder. I just use golden matte medium and nothing sticks. It just does. Golden will not stick your pages. You might hear a little crunch, and that's in the spine right there. But and in a napkin journal, you'll hear it crunching. And that's because a napkin kind of acts as Velcro, you know, because it's textured. Napkins are textured. So when you crunch, you know, keep them crunched together for any length of time, then they'll go. But it really doesn't mess up the pages. It's just that napkins have a texture that kind of works like Velcro. So these are just some pages that I got. There's a Frida from a Frida calendar. And then that's all I have in this. Oh, wait, there's one right there. There's a couple here. A couple more I started here. But so that is from 2015. And this one, and thanks for your patience for those of us seen these books 100 times, but I still like to review them. So it gets me inspired to see them again and think about what I want to do in the new books and all that. So this one is, when did I start this? 2016. This goes in 2016 and 17, I think. I collaged this page and varnished it. And same thing with this. This has, I did collage and varnish the cover of this one. I don't know if you can see. Look, see this right here? It's a staircase going this way. So, and then here's the back that I did. You can see my little monk guy right there with the huge statues. And so anyway. And I think this is from an abandoned places calendar. This was here. Hi, 7. So yeah, so this one's got more detailed type completed pages in it. I started adding more and more detail when I realized I was not going to be making paintings out of these anymore. You know, taking the collage and turning it into a painting at all. I just stopped doing that. So I started adding more and more detail in my collages. So this was 2016. This one I did kind of more recently. This one I did within the last couple of years. As a sample, someone wanted to see how I just worked a page. So I just opened this book, I think, and did this page. It's not been varnished or anything, so you can still see some of the shiny bits there. But this was a real quick page because someone just wanted to see a little quick demo. Oh, thank you, Cat and Paste. So here we go. You can see how I start, just different starts. And this is what I mean by tacking down. So these have not been matte medium down yet. I might go through a calendar, a magazine, and I'll pull a book out and I'll just take my glue stick and just tack it down enough to hold it in, but it's not really glued down yet. I'm not working it yet, but I want those images where I kind of tack them down. So a lot of these are just tacked down with a glue stick temporarily until I get to them. This will be a house floating in the clouds with space up here. You know, who knows, maybe an astronaut or who knows, you know. And then this one is another one of the same pictures that I did out of, let's think it's in this abandoned places. I've got so many going on, but I've told this story. I'll tell that story too. Let me see if it's in, I think it's in this abandoned, this particular book. Let me flip real quick and see if I can find it. Because I forget which pieces are in which book when I work in so many different abandoned, altered, altering different books. But where's my staircase? I'm flipping. Look and see if I can find that staircase. I'm pretty sure it's in this one. But if you go and look in my playlist under altered abandoned books, you'll see all the before and afters. I try to show the before and after. I think it's in this one. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not in this one. Maybe it's not in this book. But I've used that staircase in another one. But here, I'll just give you an example with this. This is the first page that I did in the Abandoned Places book. And I'll tell you all the story. I know y'all heard the story. Don't email me. So when I saw this, I should show it to you. Hang on. I'm going to say I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to do it just for this one. I'll do it for this one. So this is what the page, here's a unaltered one copy of the book, right? So this is what it started as. So when I saw this picture, I thought it reminded me of the original 1960s Star Trek, where McCoy went back through one of those circle time tunnel things, like the stone circles, went back in time to the early 30s, I think is when it was. And he was like, he had some medication. And anyway, so he was out of his mind, didn't know who he was, where he was. And he jumped through a circle and went back in time. And he came upon this alley where there was a homeless person, is what we call them now. There was a homeless person in this alley, and McCoy passed out in this alley, and the homeless person picked up not the tricorder, but the the machine. I can't think of the name right now. I got too many things on my mind. Not the tricorder, but the phaser. He picked up the phaser and dissolved himself. Right, he dissolved himself, and when he dissolved himself, he also dissolved the phaser. So there was no phaser. McCoy was passed out in this alley. So, so when he passed out in the alley, that is what I saw when I saw this. I saw McCoy passed out in the alley in the 1930s. So I turned it into this. I turned it into my own like sci-fi world. So this is what I turned it into based off of that Star Trek image, or that how I pictured that alley. So this is what I changed it to. So anyway, all right, so let's move off of the abandoned books and go back to how I start them. I got off track because I have one of my abandoned pieces has this particular staircase in it. This is probably from a calendar. So yeah, I got all different kinds of things started in here. And by this time I knew to stop going from front to back and work back and forth and front and back. So you can see the spine is not all jacked up like it is on some of the others. If you go straight from front to back, your spine will do this. So by this time I figured that out. So I started working front to back and throughout the book. So again, here's a bunch of things just glued down, ready to go. I never remember the name of that episode. City on the Edge of Forever. City on the Edge of Forever. So there you go. I remembered it this time, Jane. I remembered it this time. So yeah, so here we go. We got kind of a world going here. This one I did in 2020. I did do this one later. It's not been varnished, but it's kind of like a crashed ship. And you can see there's some different things going on here. If you look at it, imagine yourself in that world. Let's see. Hi, Suzanne. Who else am I missing? Amy Lester. Who else am I missing? Katie. Um, Anybody else I missed? Okay, so I'm going to just keep flipping here. So, and we'll get to working in. We'll get to some paint here shortly. This one is done and varnished. This one I did in 2016. I think I'm better at doing waterfalls now. I've kind of got a little bit better at the softness with my baby wipe blending technique. This is fine, but my waterfall here is I'm not really happy with that, but you know, I'm not happy with every page. This one. Oh, Ashley, I know I can't, but I can't help it, Ashley. I have to describe it for anybody that did not know the story. I know you've heard it 10 times. Shh, Ashley. And this one's varnished. So if they're varnished, I call them done. You know, this was 2016. I got 3 different planes of reality or non-reality. So I got 3 different kind of worlds going on here with the tiger and a planet on his back. And then, you know, just different stages, different things going on. Can work on them at any time. This one did take me a while. This one I did in 2016 as well. This doesn't seem that far back. Seems like I did this maybe a year ago. It just seems like, oh, I just did that last year, 2016. So it's got a lot of detail in this one. It's got a lot going on here. So you just have to kind of think of what does that mean, you know, and the thing is these kind of collages or mixed media, surrealist type stuff, you know, you're going to see, in my opinion, you're going to see what's in you. So whatever is your experience, your life, your vision, your imagination, whatever's in you is what you're going to see in the story. So I try not to say what every story means to me, like I did that City on the Edge of Forever. You know, I explained to you what that was to me, but you may see a totally different thing, you know, and that is what is so cool about it to me, is everybody can see different things as to what's in them. Yeah, I've made ATCs like these. I've made art cards, postcards, artist trading cards. I don't really make them artist trading cards anymore, 2.5 by 3.5. I make them 3 by 4. I make them big, a little bit, 3 by 4. I make them a little bigger, but I've also made tiny ones. And same thing. It's all the same. Every time I do a collage mixed media, whether I do this or whether I do, let me just go up here and grab a couple, or whether I do them this size, it's all the same process. Look, it's all the exact same process, just on a different scale, a different size, right? But it's all, I do it all the same. Oh, and yeah, I do. Well, here, I showed y'all this at the beginning of the show. This is the last poster that we did on stream. This is one we did on, this is the last bigger size that I did on a stream with the doors here. I really need to make these, you know, more sturdy, like more varnish or something. But so this was, I think, the last poster I'd done on stream, but this is not by far the biggest one. Let me just grab one here. Which is one of my favorites. Probably this one and this one. Well, I've got 3 or 4 favorites, but I'll show you these 2 if I can get them up under the camera. So these are huge. They're like 30 by 24 by 30, something like that. So they're huge poster size. So there's a whole lot going on these. So you can see, I'll just kind of set it there for a minute so you can kind of see some of the detail. That's all, this is done the same way as all these others are done. Now this one has a door in it too. This was a little theme. This is a specific theme, I should say. A lot of them are a specific theme in my mind. I just don't tell you what they are. But in this case, this is the Garden of Eden. So this is the Garden of Eden. And it's quite, it's another 24 by 30. And same process, just different things. But this is where death came into the world. So I made a little door which showed where death entered Earth was in the garden. So I did that specific thing. But a lot of them, they can be general. They can be a generalized thing that you don't, it can mean a different thing to different people. All right, so let's keep going in this. Do I have, so I skipped some pages because I want to keep the spine from warping. So got that going on. Again, these are just starts. This one. And then here's another finished one. This is the one I don't like. Okay, so here's another one. Let me, before I show it to you. This is one that I said, oh, I can so see that in Procreate or with Photoshop, because it's like waves and did not come across. That fish does not look like he's coming at you like I imagined. But it's okay. It's just one of the fails, but that's okay. I just, and then here's another start. So these are the books that I started doing my collage in, that were apart from just making collages to use as sketches for paintings. Okay. Well, other than my Canson mixed media, I did a few years of Canson mixed media collages in the spiral bound Canson mixed media sketchbooks. Those are the first books, I should say. All right, then moving on, we're going to get to where I am today in a minute. So I have these three that are all actually I have these four that are in progress of different stages. And then I'll show you these two that I really want to try to really work in this year. So that's where we are. All right. And again, y'all have probably seen these. And I said I wasn't going to show every page, but I'm flipping. So these are all, different. Let's put something there, kind of prop it up. These are all different, just different, the same thing, but just different, smaller. They're just smaller. And they're a little bit further along in the painting process. But what I do in these is the same as I do in the large books, and the same thing. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. Let's see. Let me show this one, where I'll take and I'll go through the whole book, and I'll do the pages, and they're ready to go. So I'm going to show you, these are the ones I'm going to work in this year. Well, I'm going to work in all of them this year. I want to try to work in all of them this year. So, but they're at different stages. I can always go back and add more things, paint in more things. It does not bother me to have what some people would think is a incomplete or unfinished page and or book. I just like to work in them. I like to play in them, and I just do. So, a couple of these are little, I think. And the other thing too is make sure when you work on your pages that they're 100% dry before you close them, because that will stick the pages together, is if you don't let the pages dry. Like that one probably. That probably didn't dry right there. So they're just different stages. Let's see. Do I have any questions? How do you cover the journal? Yes, I varnished those. Well, I painted them to look like faux leather first. I think there may be a video way back a few years, 2015, where I did a demo of how I did a faux leather, and then they're varnished. They're varnished. Everything's varnished with a water-based gloss varnish. So, yeah, these are all just in different stages. But you can see, I do work a lot at them. I'll sit and work in them, pick one up. Something will attract me, and I'll say, or I'll find a sticker or something I like. Now, if it does have a border on the sticker, usually I paint that out. By the time I'm done, you won't see a border on a sticker. I paint that out to make it part of the world. So if you have any questions, put it in caps. Thank you, Devin. Good to see you. Let's see. I'm always looking for questions. See, like this little fox has a border around him. I'd paint that out. But I have little stories in my head. They're just not completely painted, but in my head they can be complete. But I have a lot of ideas, so I keep moving on, as Keisha would say. Moving on, people. Uh, so these have, there's something on every page in this book. So yeah, and I just keep continuing to add, and then I'll go back and get some paint out and make some landscapes, some stars, some space, some whatever, portals. This little guy can be coming out of something. Just a little different, little stories in my head. I painted him. So I love lemurs. If y'all notice on my YouTube header is a lemur. I love lemurs. And so anytime I get a chance to paint one in, I'll put like this little book here. Yeah, look, there's another one I painted. I paint little lemurs and things. So love me some lemurs. But so what I'm saying is you could paint also, or if you don't feel comfortable painting in the book, you could paint it on a separate, mixed media paper and cut it out and glue it in. So you can do that too. Let's see, who else am I missing? Hi, Flo. So just lots of stuff going on. You can build little worlds. Different cultures can be interacting. Whoops, this page. There we go. I really like this guy. This is one of Tim Holtz's little people. Little what do you call those little photo things? I think that's a Timmy people. So these are all just in a state of flux. Here's a little one I did. I think I just tucked it in there. So you can see them. You can see I was pretty good with the spine, not 100%, but it wants to warp a little, but it's not as bad as some. Photo booth people. Thank you, Devin. And the other thing too, if you're afraid to do something this much, then get you a magazine if y'all want. I'm sure everybody has seen my magazine journals. But what you do is you just take a magazine. I've taken 3 and 4 magazines and glued them together to make a big, thick journal and reverse collage in your magazines. And that's great practice. And I just use craft paint. I use just craft paint for these projects. Deco art. This is my Americana Deco Art's my favorite. One of the reasons I like craft paint is because you can go over it with color pencil. If you use the more expensive artist grade, a lot of the artist grade acrylic paints have a sheen to them. Color pencil will not go on top of a sheen acrylic. That's why I like craft paints like this. They're matte, unless it says otherwise. Some will say gloss, satin. They'll tell you whether but they don't really say matte on it. But if it doesn't say gloss or satin, then you can assume it's matte craft paint. Okay, most craft paints are matte, and you can go over them with color pencil. I love that. So anyway, is this the one I just showed? Yeah. Is it? Oh, yeah, it is, because here's another one. So this one isn't as far along. So this one is not as finished, but it has a lot of stuff glued in it. This one's I consider this one finished, but it's not varnished yet. So I know I'm probably missing people coming in. But thanks everybody for being here. So I'll go back I think it was yesterday. I was working in one of these newer books, and I had this paper. It goes in here. I just started tacking it down here. It's not glued down, it's just tacked down, but with a glue stick. But I knew that this needed those pieces. So you can always go back and continue to add stuff. But once you varnish it, you're kind of done. For me anyway, when I varnish something. But if you notice, I have like color themes. If you put color themes together, you can build a world really, really quite easily just based on colors. You know, like, look, this is blue and red, you know, and it will spark your imagination if you just put colors like this probably doesn't have anything to do with this or that. But if you put them together, you can make, look, here's a ship. You can build something off of colors. I do, you know, I'll build things off of colors. So just so y'all can see some different variations on how you can put stuff together. Hi, Fritchie, Nettie. I said hi to Maseki. Anybody else I missed? So there's a little birdie talking in his ear there. So just flipping so you can see some of the different processes. And then this angel, look how it looks like she's touching her, got her hand on her. Those kind of things that happen in collage, it's just like, that's just magic to a collage artist. This will just tack down. Got this door right here. I love this right here. Well, I love this whole thing. I think that's going to go in there. So you can go through, you know, books, magazines, and just, you know, take one of these books, or you can do a magazine journal and paint out and add in, you know, reverse collage and then collage. And then the little one here, this is the same kind of thing. And those last two and this one are Arteza journals, and the paper's pretty thick. It's kind of thick like the Dilutions ones. I'll hold this up a little because it's small. But again, you know, I like painting my little lemurs. And these might have a little bit more further along as well. Thank you, Kat. But it's fun. I enjoy it. I love collage. I love mixed media. And again, sometimes I'll, you know, make a poster out of something or a little print or something. I thought about making some stickers out of some parts, like by Bun, Roxanne by Bun. I bought a lot of her stickers, and she has this last time, her last sticker sets, she took some of her collage and made a little rectangle, like just from one of her collage areas, and made a sticker out of it. I'm thinking of doing that. I'm thinking about making some stickers just out of little parts of my collages. So we'll see. Get back over here. You have Kathy Berg? I buy her Advent sticker things. I showed them as when in December, I opened them like the same day she did. And then when I streamed, I'd show the back 3 or 4, however many days were in between when I streamed. But I showed all her stickers from her Advent calendar as she was showing them or after she showed hers. So I like this. Like, look at the colors. Just, and you know, I got a little guy right there. Got some shadows on those little tulips, and then this is just acrylic paint, and then put some little shadows. So I got a world started here. Hi, Pam, if I missed you. So Just flipping so you can see some, maybe look, get some color ideas or just, I wouldn't say any of these are really done. They're just my play journals. I'll go in and paint and get ideas and color ideas and, you know, the ones that are really done are my big posters, like the two I showed you. Those I consider done, and I did pull a few of them. Maybe after everything's said and done, I can back the camera up and show the posters a little better. But so yeah, I like these colors here. So that's just a little, and again, these are just our little Arteza cloth hardcover journals. All right, then this one is kind of the same thing. When did I start this one? I'm not sure. A year or two ago, maybe. And they're all basically the same thing. And this one just has more stencils in this one. I think I did more stenciling in this one. So, but it's kind of the same thing, but more stencils. See, I can just see just making this into a full landscape. And I started this with scribbles and doodles in the background. I think what I was doing in this one, I was watching, I forget where I heard it. Somebody said to, watch a video and just do whatever comes to your mind while you're watching it. So I think I was watching something on the History Channel. And I just took, I think, a green, pink, and black pen. And I used I think I did the whole book. Maybe not the whole book. And went through and just flipped page after page. And knowing I wasn't ruining the book. I knew I was going to paint over it right at the end. But just kind of frees you up to try. So, if you have any copy paper or anything like that, I always try to have something handy if I'm watching TV. Because I like to take notes on history things and dates or if they recommend books or anything. Oh, speaking of books, I did post 3 new books in the community tab. I did it right before the stream. Every Monday I'm going to post 3 books in the community tab. I'm not detailing them, not telling you if I like them or don't. I'm just posting the covers of 3 books every Monday. So you can go just look at them. You can zoom in and, you can go look it up on Amazon and read the reviews or whatever you want to do. But I'm posting 3 books every Monday. Today, this was just my second week. I mean, this is only the second time I've done it, but I'm going to post them in the community tab every week, as long as I don't know how much you can put in a community tab before it fills up. But that's what I'm turning my community tab into, books. And y'all can leave comments and stuff, and y'all have. So, and somebody, I forget who it was. Oh, Dee Dee, I just ordered all 3 from last week. Thanks for posting links, Pacola. So anyway, so they started with doodles and squiggles and ideas and things in the background. And then I just went in and I started, working it out there. I like this one. Maybe I don't know. I want to find something to collage and paint today, so maybe we'll do that one. I don't know. I kind of like those colors, brown and pink. I like all of them for different reasons, right? So there's some have more stencils, some have no stencils. So I'm just going to kind of flip through and just look at chats. If you have any questions or comments or anything, just put it in the chat. I know it's flashing every time I turn from a dark page to a light page. It wants to flash, but I think you can see the colors and everything fairly well. Hi, Sandra. Enjoyed your stream last night. You enabler, you. I did not buy those other inks. And I think they do have a shimmer to them, Janet, so you probably won't like that particular ink either for the shimmer. But you probably will like the pencils, Jan, the watercolor pencils, the pencils. And I did say, Xandra, I told him what you said about Prismacolor stopping their open stock. So I did order me a box of, I think, a dozen white pencils, because I can do without all the colors. I can make do with any pencil as long as I have Prismacolor white. I have to have my Prismacolor white pencils, Xandra, so I ordered a box. Ordered a box of those. So I don't know if they'll still sell boxes of colors or only sets, but I wasn't going to take any chance. I got a dozen white ones. These right here, I did stick this in. I had some stickers left over. I still have some in this book, but I've been trying to use up this John Darien sticker book. So you can see a lot of empty pages in here. I've been trying to use this up. And this was one of the stickers in the John Darien. That guy was right here. But I thought, look, it looks like a Bigfoot or something. It looks like a Bigfoot coming after him, or maybe that's his shadow. Maybe he's Bigfoot. Just imagination. A SpongeBob. So anyway, this is a John Darien sticker too. So I put a few in here because I was trying to use up what was in that book, trying to use up what was in that book, sticker book. So some of these are out of there. Then I have some blanks right here. And then some more stickers and collaging. But it all gets painted in and painted out. Stencils, more stencils. So this is what they start out as. And that's that one. And this particular one was who did this book? This is an Ohuhu, I think. I think this is an I try to keep the thing here, if it is. Yeah, this is an Ohuhu marker. It's supposed to be good for not going through as much, although I think they still go through. But they usually give you, it's probably in another one of my books, a piece of plastic. Let's see how this. Yeah, see? Now I could make it go through if I kept at it, but just, usually alcohol markers will go right through a sketch pad or a sketchbook, but that one's resisting a little. So, all right, so there's that one. We'll see about maybe working in that page. I'll leave it right there. Let's put that right there. So these two are the two that I kind of really want to try to work in this year, although I still want to work in those other ones too. I'm looking on the floor. What else? Oh, I have a couple other little books to show. Oh, I got to wait before I show you. All right, so I did pull these because y'all know last year, I'll just pull one just so y'all know what I'm talking about. Last year, I worked in a bunch of these sizes. I worked in, and I themed them. Like this is the Art Nouveau. I have the mermaid one. I have the color, the Asian, the Alice in Wonderland. I got all different themed of these. And that's what I did all last year. I'm still going to work in these this year. And whenever I have something that's Art Nouveau or mermaid or whatever, then I'll still work in them. But this was the size and type of thing that I did. Let me stick this in the back. All last year was these kind of books, and they're very much more, I'll say structured. They're not collage painted. They're not mixed media painted. They're more art. They're more collage fodder type thing with stencils. So they're not really painty pages. Okay, they're stenciled, but they're not painted in pages. So last year I did all this style, if you will. I did this style of journaling last year where it's not paint, acrylic paint. There's one of my little Amanda paper clips there. So these are the journals, again, all the different topics that I just mentioned. The same kind of thing, just different topics. But there's inked stencil pages, but they're not acrylic painted. So, and there's plenty of room to journal, right? I did some with quotes, did different little things here, flaps, but again, I don't work front to back because that will, let's see, let me move some of this black background there. There we go. Got a shadow. Um, because now these are not gonna. This one has a flat spine, so it could warp some. But a lot of these journals are just rounded spine, so it's okay. But get the light there a little bit. Let's brighten that back up. I've had them called glue book. Yeah, I guess you could call. They're really not glue books. To me, a glue book is just. It's not this to me. I don't know. This is more art journaling to me, because I do stenciled quotes. A lot inking. I do a lot of things in it. Just not painting these like the ones I've been showing you. So it's got fodder. And it's to me a glue book is a little less put together. It's just more a lot of stuff. Here's another one of Amanda's little resin paper clips. And here's what Keisha sent me at Christmas. I haven't put it in this book. I mean, I put this in here, but I haven't put it in the book yet. Thank you, Keisha. I love these. And this in my Art Nouveau book, ready to go. Some blank pages. And then some more. So I leave room for quotes or writing or journaling. And some have more writing, like the Alice in Wonderland has Alice in Wonderland quotes in it. So anyway, last year I'd worked in, I always say 10, 12, because I don't really know. Some have a lot more done in them than others. My Asian one, my garden one, my nature one, they all have more stuff done in them. Okay, so these are the other ones I picked. Now, let me show you. This all this at one time was in the, what's that, Navi, Janet? The Navi Travelers Mini. It's called Navi, Navi, I think is the brand, a little orange leather Navi cover, like the Traveler's Journal cover, but it's called Navi. All this was in a Navi, one book. And I wanted to use the Navi cover for something else. So I took this out and put other papers in the Navi. So these are the signatures out of that book. So I'll show you these too. But then these were this was the year before, or 2 years ago, no, I think this was before, this was pre-virus, that I was working in these travelers, and they're all different as well. So this one was kind of like my faith one. This one was more my faith one, with like a quote or a word. And so it was less collage, more paint in this one. And I gold edged all of the edges with gold paint. And again, this one was more the faith type. Now, my Bible journaling now, I moved. Y'all saw, I used to have it in that big, thick sketchbook thing. I took it all apart and put it in a binder. I put it all in a 3-ring binder. So my big faith book is it's in a 3-inch binder now. I moved it. Y'all know, I'll deconstruct a sketchbook art journal in a minute and move it to something else. Doesn't bother me to shift things around. So anyway. So yeah, this one's got more painty stuff and just more thoughtful type. I don't know what that, maybe I just like the colors of those little animals, but it's not glued in yet. But this is kind of my little faith. And will I go back to it? Maybe. I have it to go back to if I want, but you can see it's kind of more pastel-y, kind of muted. Well, I say that and then we go to a purple page. So yeah. And then this is one of I love Francis Bacon quotes. I have them everywhere. What is truth? Said jesting Pilate, and would not stay for an answer. I just love that. Here's another one. Imagine this one, everybody needs to write this down. Imagination was given to man to compensate him for what he is not, a sense of humor to console him for what he is. That's so profound. So there's my little, and it's got a piece of lace on it and just covered in some papers. And it's just, okay. Then what else do I have here? I haven't opened these up for a while. Let me see what this is. Oh, this is a test of something. I don't need that. So again, I think this is kind of the same thing. It's just, I think these are some of the napkins, the Jane Davenport, and then, oh, this is mostly napkins. That's what this one is. This is a mini napkin journal, although I have another, not my big napkin journal, but I have another napkin journal here too. I'll show you that one too. But anyway, this has got napkins in it, and so it's textured. So you can see, and they're not really much done to them. There's a Jane page. So there's just like a lot of napkins in this one, although I really didn't do a lot in this one. I kind of moved to this one from the big napkin journal, from the tall one, which I did not pull that one either. There's fish, shells, just different. These are all napkins. So there's not really a lot done in here, but that's what that is. And then, well, let me show these two, and then I'll show this one. Hope y'all are getting some ideas for the year. Okay, so these are more the collage that you've seen in the bigger journals, just smaller. So these are the kind of the same thing. They got some base going. They got some painty stuff going on. I just like making them. And then, will I go back and finish some of them? Probably. I do the other ones. But this was just, I think, really the first year that I really found Traveler's Notebook size, that I really started just trying it out. So this is a lot of, I think, trial and error for the size. the 4.5 by, what is it? Let me measure right here. 4.5 by 8 by 4.5 size Travelers journals. So this is a lot of testing on the size, I think, when I first started using these Travelers notebooks a few years ago. There's one that's more complete. So this is kind of where it heads to, from like, well, that one's more complete too. But like from this, I'll do something like this after it gets more world building. I know, Keisha, don't you love that quote? So, yeah. I think I was using some of the Jane Davenport slick sticks, or what is it, painty sticks. Not called slicks, but anyway, they're her crayons. I was using her crayons in this one. So the backgrounds are all water-based crayons. You can see how they're sketchy like. So, love this one too. And that one. So there's that. And again, I put a little piece of fabric on there. Then this one is one of the Dilution ones, because I recognize this cover. I did not cover this cover. It came this way. This is one of Diane Wheatley's. And this one, what I did, I think on all of them, I punched holes in it. And again, I don't know how many years ago we did this. But I punched holes because then, look, you can see like through it to something else. I just really like that. So I went through this whole book, and I think I punched holes in every page just so that to see what would happen, to see what you could see through it. Like, you know what I mean? You could just see a whole nother world through there. And I just kind of like that idea. So I said, well, let's just go for it. Let's just punch holes in the whole book. I think I did. Did I say hi to you, CB? Hi, Raj. Thank you, Raj. Well, they're, most of them are not completed. I'm going to admit they're not. But I know what I can have in my mind where they can go. So it doesn't bother me that they're not. So if nothing else, have you a book that you don't have to feel like you have to finish. Whether it's a sketchbook, a composition book, a magazine journal, which I hadn't even pulled my magazine journals. I got 6 or 8 of those. I didn't pull any of those. Um, but magazine journals, where you can do this kind of thing in a magazine, is very freeing too, because you're not apt to feel so, oh, so precious about it, you know? So here's one that's more finished, a little bit more world built, if you will. So, but they all have holes punched. So there's that one. Okay, so then real quick, I'll show you. This one is a napkin, and what's that? Stamperia rice papers. This is all Stamperia rice papers and napkins, and so they're a little bit. Some of them are a little bit more complete than some of the others. Maybe I don't need to lift it up. And some of these might sound kind of sticky because napkins can act like Velcro, and they can kind of go. But so that's what this particular book is, and they're all in a, you know, different stages as well. Some are more done than others, like this one. Yeah, you just roll with it. You know, it's part of the creativity of it more than, you know, having to have something so finished that you go, oh, I can now show that to somebody. No, you know, don't be that way. Just go for it. Do what you want. Show who you want. Don't show it. But have a place where you can go and just glue things, scribble, paint, collage, make up stories, build your own worlds. Have a place where you can do all that. Whether it ever gets finished or not, you're inspiring yourself. You know, so I'm not going to go through all this, but let me see. I have a couple more finished pages back here. You're inspiring yourself. There's one that one's more finished. I did stencil some gold on that one. That one. Napkins. That one's finished. That one's finished. Those are napkins. So, all right. So anyway, this little journal is that. And then let's see here. Okay. So I was going to say that this was all in one little Navi cover. And it was like that. It's so puffy. So I took out all the signatures. I don't even know what's all in here, but I just rubber banded each of the signatures and took them out. So they're all kind of like their own little books now. But these are what I guess some people will call, what do they call it? Messy. And I don't know who started it. The Messy Journal. Somebody help me out here. And again, I can't tell you who started it. But they're called Messy Journals or something like that. Anyway, y'all know. I think y'all might know who I'm talking about. But they're just, they can be all kinds of just junk, and they're not really junk journals because I have other books that are called junk journal. Well, they're not really junk journals. So I have other books that are more junk. I guess they could be a junk journal, but there's people doing messy journals, and I can't even think of who's doing them. And it might be Messy something on Instagram. No, anyway, or you call them junk journals. And they got fabric and just, you know, all kinds of junk. No, not a smash book. They're messy. It's messy something. And they're kind of coming apart because they're not bound in, you know, in the signatures. If they were in the book, they would have the rubber band or the band right here, right? So they wouldn't come apart. So hi, View. So these are like just messy journals, messy junk journals. Again, they would normally have something holding them together, but because I took them out of the Navi cover, there's nothing holding them together now. They're just like, you know, hanging by a thread. Ugly Art Club? Is that what it is, Julie? The Ugly Art Club? Maybe that's it. But they are calling them messy. That's what they're titling these journals. I haven't posted anything to them. I just see it on IG. But that's kind of what these are. So there's this one. I use a lot of not packing tape, masking tape, a lot of masking tape. I think I went through one of these signatures and just put masking tape on every page. This isn't it because there's no masking tape on this one, but there's masking tape on this. I use a lot of masking tape. You can start a messy journal just by flinging on a couple pieces of paper and some masking tape, and you'll have some pages going. I'm telling you, get out that masking tape. There's one of those vintage things from Jonna. So, yeah. And then some fabric there. And so there's that. And again, they're loose because they're not signature bound with the cord, you know. Which way did I go? Did I go this way? Again, messy, ugly art club or whatever it is. Thanks, Julie. There's some swatches, just some different little fabric things, little paint chips, scribbles, paint chips with some fabric to make bookmarks out of. Another piece of, this is like one of my prayer scroll ribbon samples. More just, you know, who doesn't love a little dog in space? More ribbons. So there's that. And then this is the last one here. Got a, what do you call it? A Mona Lisa card and a giant paper clip. I got to take that off because it's holding it shut. I think here. Lucy in Spain. Yes, it does look like Lucy, didn't it, Devin? It did look like your Lucy. So again, here's more ugly art, if you want to call it that, or a junk journal. Some the Chihuly collection. That's when we went to see Dolly. I think we saw Chihuly and Dolly at the same time down in Florida, St. Pete. We went to the Dolly Museum. Samantha, she was a lot younger. And she saw one of the walls with the information. You know, they have the information. Well, I don't know what it looks like now. It's been years since we were there. But she came up. She said, Granddad, to Hubster, Granddad, did you know that Salvador Dali was afraid of locusts? I think it was locusts. I think he was afraid of locusts. So she went around the museum trying to find anything with locusts. It was really cute. Anyway. They love going to, they still do like going to the museums. And even Logan, they've gone out to what do you call it? This is from the High Museum here in Atlanta. But they went out, they've gone to a couple of 2 or 3 museums out in LA. So again, just some fabric and some gesso and some tape. See, look. Doesn't that look cool to y'all? Yeah, I thought you meant Dolly Parton. No, D-A-L-I. Dolly. Salvador. Dolly. So just tape. And this is the one I think that I went through and put tape on every page. And again, some more of those paint chips that have the holes in them. So you can compare colors by placing it over the top. That's why they have those holes. Let's see. So, yeah. So let me go back real quick. I'm going to do something. Let's go back over here. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go over here to Lucy. I'm going to send this to Devin Rex. Looks just like her dog. Okay, so that's going to go to Devin. So I'll send you one of my art journal pages. All right, where's my rubber band? I know I had one here. There it is. No, they came that way, those paint chips. All right, so let me move this out of the way, send this to the side. And, oh. Okay, I'll put that up in a minute. I have them all piled around me. All right, so these are the two that I talked about. I already showed this from last year. Maybe I'll show, let me pull one magazine journal. I'll show two versions, a big one and a small one. Let's see here. I think this is, okay. And I'm not going to flip, I'm just going to show you what I mean when I say magazine journal. So here's one of my magazine journals that I've glued three magazines together. And what I mean by reverse collage is and these are probably Art Journaling and Somerset Studio. Well, I think they're probably all Art Journaling. All right, so here's a double page spread. This was in the magazine. This was the image that was in the magazine. And I left that. This is a piece of collage. I painted it out. I painted everything out. I reverse collaged it. Does that make sense? And you can do it with scraping, palette knives, your cards. But what you're doing is you're getting rid of the background. You're reversing it out. So you can do that in multiple magazines glued together. Or what I did in these art journals, I've cut them down. So I cut them down and doing the same thing. Okay. Cut them down. And then the excess that I cut off the edges and off the bottom, I glued those extra pieces down on other pages. So it's a mixture of paint, cast off side pieces, and just whatever was there. And then you can paint them out and add more to it, whatever you want to do. So then we just painted I say we, because if I did it on camera, I say we painted those little daisies on there with paint. So you can do, these both are magazine versions of collage. Okay. So I'm not pulling out the old, like my Canson Mixed Media sketchbooks from 2010, 11, 12, when I first started streaming. Those are, I've shown them before, but they're way back. Okay, so these are the two that I plan on working on this year. This one is further along. This one I just started. They're the same book. They're the Master's Touch, I think 10 by 10 square. And what I like about these in particular is they have white pages. A lot of journals these days, not that there's anything wrong with it, but they have cream color pages. Let me move one away so that the black doesn't overwhelm the light. They have cream color or off-white pages, and that's okay. As, when I'm doing collage, I'm covering a lot of it up, but I like white, pristine white pages, especially when I'm painting, doing markers. I like to have a white page, not a cream color page, but that's just me. So this one I started last year, and I started in 2021 and into 2022. And again, it's the same type of thing. This one just has a different size. And so I'm just going to flip through here so you can see how I started some landscapes. And they, just going to build different worlds. So you can see. Here's one I have paint on it. So that one's got some paint started. Most of them don't have paint on them yet. I probably started this and then just moved on to something else, one of the other journals, but I do have it on the go. So that's why I say I want to work in this one. I like this. Maybe let's see. I might go with this one today. I want to at least do one page so y'all can see. And they're just tacked down. They're not even glued yet. I like this too. That's just tacked down onto that. So I want to work in this book and the other one I'm getting ready to show you this year. I just want to kind of get back to some collage because I kind of let it go last year when I did the little mini books. There's collage in it, but it's not this kind of collage. It's not the kind of collage I really like with the painting, the mixed media painting. It was just collaged themed stuff, which I like doing that too, and I'll still continue to do that. But I want to work in these books, these two, this one, and then this one's the same thing. I just haven't done much in this one yet. Maybe I should show you how I could glue some stuff down or tack some stuff down or pick some things out. So you can see how I just kind of started these. I like this one too. Maybe I'll work on that one. So I already have paint on this one. I started painting that one. I started painting a couple of them. There. This one I started painting. This one's going to be in the clouds, so I just kind of sketched out some clouds. I don't do much sketching in these. They're more just as I go. Although like this is going to be like waterfalls. I know in my head I want that to have waterfalls. And this will have water kind of splashing up, and that'll probably be outer space. I just like that theme. I know I do it a lot, but I like it. So I just got a bunch of different things on the go, and that's as far as I got. So I still have, about 2/3 maybe of the book to still put something on. So I do like this. So I'm going to decide between this one and this one. I don't know. Do y'all have a preference? Do you like the reddish color or the blue? The red or the blue? Y'all pick. Red or blue? Let's see what y'all want. There's the red. It's the same size. It's just that that's painted black, so it makes it look smaller. Or the blue. What do y'all like? Blue. I see a blue. Devin says blue. Any other? Okay, I see one red. I see more blues than red. I like the blue too because it's just like the color is so kind of soothing or something. I don't know. This one would be more dramatic. Okay, we'll go with the blue. So these are the two books that I really want to concentrate on this year. They're exactly the same book, but there's just, different things done in each one. All right, so before I start this, folks, I got about 35, 40 minutes, however, I mean, I can stay till 12 if I want, but, Hubster gets, well, no, wait, he is going to be late today, I think, at lunch. Either way, I'll just work on it for a while. But before I do that, I'll quickly back out and show you the posters, or the ones I pulled. I didn't pull them all. So I already showed you the Garden of Eden one, and they are going to want to flash out. They're going to want to flash out. But I showed you the Garden of Eden one, and I showed you this one. So again, these are like 24 by 30, so they're really big. You can see how big they are. So lots going on. And then this is the one we did on the last stream. It's smaller. This one is, and it's just poster board, guys. 20 by 14 is this one. You can get just poster board to work on. And then this one's a little older. This is one of my older animal ones. This one was a thrift store painting of this ship, and it was just this ship. It wasn't. This has some yellow to it. I've painted some yellow and green on it, but it was just a white ship in the sea. So everything else is painted. I repainted the ocean. I repainted everything, and then I just put me some little astronauts in here. There's little astronauts there, and they get connected by time. Time is a connector. Here's another. There's my red panda, little steampunk, and that's all painted. As is this one. This is painted. That's not collage. That's paint. This just the watch, and this little guy there is collage. Same thing on this one. It's all paint except some little watches and this piece of metal here. The rest is paint. Here's my Ottersea, Space Ottersea, which are late Lisa Scott named. This was on the cover of a e-magazine. Again, it's all paint except for the watch and a couple little things up there. The rest is all paint. And then this one is another one of the huge ones. And it's got a little robot down here, a little robot guy. It's hard to show because they're so big. Little robot guy down there. And it's still got a little work to go. And here's another huge one. These are really big. These are, let me see, 24 by 30. These are. So you can see with my hands there how big these are. So there's a lot. I can't even back up any farther than that because my wall is like right there. So that one, this one, more 24 by 30. Did you paint the llama? Yes, I painted the llama, Devin. I paint a lot of animals. This one's a little bit smaller. Here's my time wrangler. This was off of a poster of Big Ben. So that's the only thing that's original to this piece. Everything else I've added. And it got a little time wrangler guy there. And added those Japanese waves and a little door back here. And this was just in there. It's not, it's kind of mixed media collage. I did make a poster out of this, or a print, I should say. I made a print out of this guy. I painted him. When you see the animals like this, they're almost always I painted them, the animals, and then added like a watch, or something like that. This one I did give out as thank yous to channel supporters. That was back in 2020. And then this is the one that I use for my YouTube header. This part right there is my YouTube header. And again, he's painted. And then that's added. Part of the ship is added and repainted. The water's that's all paint. And then he's all painted. That's my lemur. Then here, this one's older too. This is my peace sloth, which again I painted the peace sloth and his feet and his hand, and then just added a piece of a guitar and a little bit of jewelry, and then the rest is all paint. And this one. Sorry, my chair is squeaking every time I bend over. I pick one up off the floor, but hey, this one's not done. Kind of coming along. Again, I can go back to any of them anytime. And the last one again is more lemurs I painted. This is a lemur circus in space. I got a constellation, trapeze guys on the constellation. There's a constellation, trapeze guys. And then I have my lemurs as Jack-in-the-Box. So they're all that's painted too. The Jack-in-the-Box, the lemurs, and then the circus animals are cut out of a vintage circus book. So yeah. So those are some of my posters. Again, I didn't pull them all out, but just those. All right, so let's go ahead and work on this. Let me go ahead and zoom back in. We'll see how far we can get on it. Let's move all the... And I do have at least, let's see, is this going to be big enough? Yeah. You always want to, if you're going to use matte medium or paint around the edges of a journal, you want to put some wax paper or some kind of paper between, because I don't really care if it gets on the other page, but I do care that it's going to glue the pages together. So if you get matte medium or paint on your edges to the back, to the next page, you're going to glue your pages shut. And nobody wants to do that. So... Okay, so there we go. Again, these are just tacked down. I'll pull them up or I can work under them. I usually just try not to tack them down too much so that I can pull them up because it's easier to work that way. And again, they're just tacked down with a little bit of glue stick. So this is my start. Let's just get up under there. Did I tack that one down too much? I might just have to glue up under that one. This will come up. So yeah, don't tack them down too much unless you don't mind working up underneath. All right, so again, I put my golden matte medium in a dish soap bottle so I can just flip it and squeeze out whatever I want. So let me get some kind of a tray here, something. This is dried acrylic paint. It's not going to come off or anything, but if it makes you nervous, or you can always, if you're using a plastic lid of some form, you can peel this up and throw it away or do something with it if you like the way it looks on the other side. I'm just going to throw it away. So and I'm just going to pour out a little bit of my golden matte medium. See, then it's just so much easier than taking the lid off, putting plastic down or wax paper back on the jar, shutting the jar, all that. All right, you can't come up here, baby. She wants to come back up on the table. Now let me get a glue brush, and my glue brushes are the only brushes that I keep in water. I keep my glue brushes in water. Those are the only brushes that I let stand in water. And they have their own little container, Janet. They're not in my other container of water. They have their own little container of water. Okay, and then let me get some baby wipes. I use Huggies Natural. There's no scent, no aloe, no soapy bits. It's just, that's why I like Huggies Natural. All right, I think we're good to start. Oh, and a card of some kind to scrape down, smash down to get any wrinkles out. Oh my gosh, Janet. Well, I'm just mean. I do put this through the dishwasher every now and then, but here's my water that I use for like paint and stuff. But my glue brushes don't go in that one, is all I'm saying. My glue brushes have their own little jar. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's go. All right, so now what I do, a couple things when I'm using my golden matte medium is I put down a nice generous coat of the matte medium wherever the image is going to go. And to me this is important because it keeps the wrinkles out. Then I'll put the matte medium on the back of the piece, and in this case I have them kind of glued together halfway, so I'm going to make sure and get under there. And then when I put it down on the top, I will put another coat over the top and kind of get up under there because these are like not separated like, normally they would be. Put another coat on top. Lots, and I'm generous with the matte medium. And I cover the whole thing, so whatever else is on there, it's all going to have matte medium on it. And then I'll take a card, and I didn't quite flatten that out a little. Take a card and smash it all in. And you'll pick up matte medium. You can either just wipe it off or just kind of reapply. And you're going to smash everything down nice and flat. And this is an important stage. If you don't do this, you're going to have wrinkles. Just saying. You're going to have wrinkles. Now, when you're mashing down images, if you're using a fashion magazine, like the thin fashion magazines, you got to be extra careful when you do this stage because you'll pull the ink right off of those fashion magazines. It comes right off. Okay, and then it doesn't hurt to have just a little bit more if you just want to make sure it's nice and flat. Okay, so that one's glued down. I need to get a little bit more matte medium out. So nice to put it in this jar. Squeeze out what you want. All right, so let's move this to the side. All right, so because this is pretty much halfway glued down already, I'm just going to work up under it, but you want to make sure you get a lot If you don't get a lot, the less you have, the more it's gonna wrinkle. The more you have, the less likely you're gonna have wrinkles. I know it doesn't sound like that would be the case, but you really need a lot, especially this paper is really thick. This paper in this Master's Touch journal is really kind of thick, so I'm going to be extra, make sure I get it glued down really well. Any questions, put it in caps. I know I'm probably missing a lot. I will go back and review the chat later, probably tonight. What I usually do is I'll skim through the chat on mute because I don't need to hear myself. I already know what I said. So I don't watch the video. I don't really watch the video except to see at what point am I. And then if someone has a question or something, or I see somebody new, then I go to your channel and try to see if you're a creative. And if you have videos, and I'll usually follow you. Okay, so we got that. Let's see, whatever. Okay, so now let's go ahead and again, if you pick up a lot, you can just kind of scrape it off your. And so now after I do this initial glue down, if I decide I want some other image, like maybe I'll do it on purpose. I'll go into some other collage fodder or a sticker book or something and find some other little images to put in here. What I'll do then, if I want to just put something on top or add a little something, I'll just glue it down with some tacky glue. I won't, or unless I just happen to have this sitting here handy, then I'll use it. But otherwise, I'll just glue a little image down with some tacky glue. All right, so there we go. So the next thing I want to do is I'll wipe off and I know I get a teacher's voice. I'm telling y'all step by step, but I want y'all to know everything, right? Hi, Amira. I like y'all to know everything I know. So I'll wipe off the excess out of my brush, and I'll just kind of wrap this in this damp baby wipe. So if I want to use it again in the next 20 minutes, otherwise that will crust. This will harden up in 10 minutes. And the brush, there's some way to get it back, but these cheap brushes that I use for, they're just cheap crap brushes. Like I'll get 30 for $3, whatever, they're not expensive brushes at all. All right. So now I'm going to, let's get the excess up there out of the middle. And let me go ahead and dry it. You don't have to at this stage, but I'm going to, because I'm getting into the paint. Okay. Oh, I got to plug. I keep forgetting. I've made it a habit of unplugging my my glue gun. I mean my heat gun. And so when I unplug it, then I forget the next time. My lights are flickering. Oh, I know why. I messed up I'm cutting into the lights. They're in the same plug strip. Hi, Marie. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Let me make sure I'm not going to glue my wax paper. I don't have to get it 100% dry, but it does help flatten it more even. Is there a little wrinkle there? Yeah, but oh well. Okay, so now let me put this paper back up under here for another scratch piece of paper. And move this journal out of the way. Make some space. And, I was going to say, I was going to try to find some other extra cloth. Oh, and I got some other cloth. I know y'all seen these before, but we'll see if we have time. I also have these collages in progress. All these are collages. Some of them I finished, like this. I've posted on Instagram. This one's finished and done. This one's finished and done. But a lot of this is all collages in progress that I work on off and on. And then when I finish one like this, or finish one like this, then I post them on Instagram. But this is another stack of my collages. These are just individual ones. What a lot of these collages are, okay, are out of old sketchbooks and journals that I've cut apart and I've tacked them down onto just regular, paper. So this is like cut out of another art journal and put on here and then detailed out. That's what this stack is. So we got another stack here. We're not going to run out anytime soon. I'm always making new. All right, so let's see. Let's see if I want any particular images. Oh, and then images. Where do you find good images if you don't want to use magazines? Let me pull this one because this is really one of my favorites. This is an extraordinary things to cut out in collage. So if you don't know where to find images, trust me, there are tons of books like this on Amazon. This one just happens to be my favorite. It's thick. It's got a lot going on. Of course, mine's torn up because I use it. And this one, and then anything by Catherine Anderson, any of her collages, I would recommend. But let's just see what we got here. So, and there's some, this is under C, so I might want some shells, maybe. But maybe it's a mushroom world under the sea. You can do anything you want. Maybe that butterfly or two. I don't really want any people, but anyway, there's tons of images in this book, which seem to be all going the other way. Oh, and I got other things going on here too. Other collage bits going on. Maybe we want a little bit of a building. Pull that. There are some magazines in here. Plus, y'all know I love me some watches and clocks, so I'll probably have to pull a watch or a clock. Maybe I need, this is a Catherine Anderson because it's double-sided too. I might need some more water. I don't know. Some calendar pages. Here's another watch. Maybe I'll put a portal with that. And the other thing, and I'm just talking out loud so y'all know everything I'm thinking and talk, don't, well, and I say don't, but I know people do it. And there's no talking you out of it if you're one of these that does it. If you sit and overthink, if I went through this book every time I did a collage and go, do I want that or do I want this? If you do that with, you will, well, I would never get anything done. At some point, I'm going to say, oh, I think that'll work. I like that. I'm going to roll with that. And I move on. Because there's always another collage another day. Just saying. There's always another collage another day. And if you spend hours and again, I don't want to diss on anybody that does do that. I just can't do it because it would just stifle me. I would never get anything done. Would I have a more perfect collage? Maybe. But it's not worth it to me. I want to move on. So, all right. So we got a couple items. We got a couple things. Oh, and I do have these little fish too. These were off of some of my paper that I got at Paper Source, the big sheets of paper. Let me straighten this up. So maybe I'll use some of those little fish. Let me fix my lights over there that want to creep down. All right, so let's see here. What do we got? Let's just go with, I'm going to go with just this stuff right here. These fish, these butterflies, these shells, this piece of a building, some of this water maybe. It's too aqua. I'm going to cast that aside. It's too aqua. I'll paint in my own water. And I do want a portal. So do I want the portal here? Do I want the portal here? It could go either way. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to cut this out. Oh, and I do need another watch because this is just, I'm going to use the outer edge of this. So let me go in here. I got this little pouch of stuff here. And let me just, I know I got some watches stuck in here. Ooh, I kind of like that blue enough. Maybe that's blue enough. Let's see. All right, so let's see. back here in the back, I've got some watches. Let's pick one. Let's roll with, that one's got a lot of aqua, that one. I like that blue. Yeah, I think I might go with that. Okay. I'm going to go with this. And if y'all put it in caps if you're trying. Exactly, Keisha. Get over yourself, people. All right, so I'm probably going to use these two pieces. So I'm going to cut these out as time, which I'll put watch hands on if I have time moving, floating, or directing your attention in the piece. So I'll cut out a couple of these. We'll work for about 15 more minutes. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Thanks, all the lurkers. Appreciate you. I'll probably wait till Wednesday to do a giveaway so I don't have to rush this and then rush a giveaway. So we'll do a giveaway on Wednesday. So there's a couple of those. Now what I want to do with this is I want the outer edge. Now, do I want all these? I don't know yet, but I'm going to cut them out just in case. And then we'll see. We'll see how much of those I want. And if it does turn out, then good. If it doesn't, it's like, well, y'all got some ideas. Thanks, David. My collage. Let me click on you. My collage emporium. I love collage, and I did not do a lot of mixed media collage last year. You know, like the ones in those traveler type notebooks. They're collage and they're mixed media, but there's no paint to them. And I like paint. I like paint and painting in my worlds. And none of those had that. And I kind of miss doing much of it. So I picked these two books and maybe some of the abandoned books. I haven't worked in those either much in the last year. So I'm probably going to work in, maybe I'll pick one or two of the abandoned books along with these two books. Not saying that's only things I'm going to work in, but you know, I kind of, just like I picked last year, the smaller journals. If you want to cut in the middle of something, and this is easy enough, but it's big. But if you have a little like in between an arm or something, and you want to cut, it's better instead of doing this and cutting from the, you know, poking a hole and cutting. If you'll just find a spot where you can cut right into it like that, especially on smaller pieces. Because when you glue it down, you're not going to see that. It's a lot easier to get into smaller, tight places to cut if you just go ahead and cut right in somewhere, you know. But I want the center out of here because I want it to be a portal. And I want the watch parts on there so you can tell that it is a watch or a clock. So I hope I haven't overwhelmed y'all with too many flips again. But because I'm starting the year off with this again, you know, this year, I kind of wanted to set the pattern for that. All right, so here we go. We got this. Now I could probably even make two portals, but I don't know if I want one here. I don't know if I want that. It almost needs to be around the dolphin, you know. It almost has to be the dolphin that's focused, the focal point. So do I want it kind of like this, where he's kind of coming through? And if he does that, so I can just cut some of this out. So do I want that? Maybe. Then I want these two other watches, maybe. And see, don't be afraid to cover anything up either, or paint it out. You know, if you don't like something, you go, oh, that's not working, and I glued it down. Just cover it up. Just cover it up. So do I want it here? I think I kind of want it here because it's the same colors. I like that. Now, do I need another? This is just more kind of mechanical stuff, which this kind of can look kind of mechanically. So I might just add that in here, like at an angle or something, like just part of this, which will get painted in. Same thing for this watch part. See how this is showing you the inside of the watch? I like seeing the inside of watches because that makes good. It can be ships, flying ships. It can be crash stuff. It just anything mechanical, right? So maybe that's going to be down in here. Maybe right there. And again, we're going to paint. We're going to get the paint out. All right. And then if I do decide on any of these little fish, I think I'll just probably glue them on top after I'm done with everything else. See, this I can glue down with matte medium, which I'm going to do because I have some right there with the brush. But I could also just glue it down with tacky glue. But because I have some sitting right over here, I haven't got that far in the process. So if I do any of these little fish like this, you know, I can glue those in later too, or I can do it now. Either way. I'm thinking there's a little white spot where I've scraped off maybe that needs to go there. I'm kind of liking that. Maybe there'll be more, but for now, I'm just going to set these aside. All right, let's check. I'm sure I'm missing a lot in chat, guys. Thanks, Laverne. You like the collage? Everybody likes collages. Okay, Z, thanks for coming in. If y'all don't watch Scraps to Beauty Zandra, she's always enabling. If you like supplies and new products and how to use them and art journaling, then Zandra comes on at about 4 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. She's back. She's back from her vacation, well, from the holidays, I should say. She had company and things to do. So she's back from the holidays. So she comes on 4 p.m. Eastern Sunday afternoon or early evening. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what else I have over here. Do I want some of this? Let's just see. So like this has a natural place to separate the building there. Do I want some buildings in here? Do I need any buildings? Maybe, maybe not. Do I need a door there? Don't think so. I think this is kind of almost a simple thing. There's some more doors. I don't think I need them when I'm picturing the paint. Do I need some more water feature? Maybe. Let's see if I need some more. Do I need some more water feature in any of it? That's kind of cool looking. I might put that in there. Maybe a little more coming across. It's best if you don't overlay your collage from one page to another. You can, and I have, but as you open and close your journals over and over, you're likely to tear. That's going to tear. You know, it's best if you go as close to the edge as you want, maybe put some paint there rather than go over the edge, which I don't even think I'm going to do. I don't think I'm going to go over the edge. I'm kind of liking that. So I'm going to set that aside. Do I want something else? I'm looking. I'm thinking. I'm a looking and a knowing. I might want some shells, but again, this stuff can be put on top. So I'm going to leave that for now along with the fish and the shells and kind of set that aside. And let me go ahead and glue. Let's go ahead and glue this down. A little tiny bit more, just a little. Then we'll get out some paint. Oh, so it's wet. You know, my baby wipe was wet. So now this is nice and pliable. Okay, so I'm going to put down kind of approximately where that is. Put some on the back. Janet, what are you doing today? What are you doing today, Janet, at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time? Do I want that right there? Do I want to turn it a little? I think I want to turn it a little, like right there. Has Janet said what she's going to do today? She's going to work on scavenger hunt. This is wanting to curl up, so I better hurry up and glue this down. Let's see, did she say, as Janet said, and see, then I have the watch hands will come out from there. That's like one of the final touches as well. All right. Got that. I'm waiting to see if Janet answers. All right, so let's put a little bit more. Just still debating on this. Do I need this or does that make it too? I think I'm going to leave that out. I just think I'm going to leave that out. This is going to have water and stuff going all over the place, so put that one little fish there. Okay, and then I'll clean this off, throw this baby wipe away, get a fresh one. I think I'm done with the glue for now, so I'm going to put this in the glue water. Let me get that baby wipe and kind of get the excess off the brush. If I need it again, I'll get it back out. All right, let's see. Janet dozed off. Okay. Thanks, Angie. All right, let's put the scissors away. Let's dry this. Move that. The excess there. This is probably going to be a pretty simple one. All right, so let's get out some paint. I want black, blue. Let's get out some black. And I'll have to get a bucket of stars because y'all know I got to have some stars. Some blue. Let's see. Let's get a couple shades of blue. And some white. Let's get these 2 shades of blue. Always shake up your acrylic paints every time you use them. And might be a little too greeny blue. I might need a little bit more blue. Let's get some true blue in there. Between the 3 of those, I'll mix up something. And then some white. Over here on the edge. And then I'm going to need a bucket of stars. And for that, I'll get a little cap here and put a little bit of white paint. And this is the only place I add water. When I'm doing the rest of the painting, I don't add water. Very rarely. I could water something down for a specific purpose. For the most part, I use the thick paint. Okay, so I'm going to water this down for stars in a minute. Let's see. Get a brush. I need one of my fluffy brushes. Here we go. So this will be ready here in a minute. Like simmering stew. All right, so now we're finally getting to paint. And the first thing we're going to do, I do have a brush here. I'm going to get it wet in a minute, but I'm going to start by finger painting. Remember, I have all my wax paper behind here so I don't glue my pages together with paint. And let's kind of just straighten that out a little bit. It wants to curl a little. It's not a problem. I'm going to get in here and I'm going to start with those two colors. And I'm going to start getting rid of all the white. Get rid of all the white. Now, here's the trick to this technique. Because everything is coated with golden matte medium, I can put it anywhere and take a baby wipe and wipe it right off. It's because it's got the golden matte medium on it that you can just wipe it right off. You couldn't do that without the matte medium. Okay, you can't do that without the matte medium. You won't be able to wipe it off, especially if it sets for even a minute. Okay, so I just want to get my background. I want to get my background in here. Maybe a little more blue in there. And if it goes somewhere I don't want it, and you go through a lot of baby wipes, you just go in there and wipe it away wherever you don't want it. So I'm going to get me a nice world going here. Maybe some more of that blue. I want to have it be in the water, you know. And you could do this with a brush. You don't, oh, you can't touch paint. Okay. It's okay. Get out your brush. Get out your brush. And then wherever I don't want the paint, take a baby wipe. And you want a clean spot in the baby wipe. Otherwise, you're just going to be moving, moving the paint around. You won't be wiping it off. Okay. Okay, time for a fresh baby wipe. Or two. Bye, Amy. Okay, let's get over here. On the edges, see, this is why I have the wax paper. So I'm not getting it, gluing the pages together. Okay, let's get some of this blue. I think I want some of those spots in there too. And then the little details and stuff I'll get in there with a brush because my finger's too big. All right, so there's our base. Got a base. Now let's see if we want some more blue. Probably some more blue coming through here, and then we'll have some coming over. Oops, got too much black. Let's wipe that away. Let's go with the blue. Maybe a little bit of white and blue. Y'all can't see what I'm mixing over there. Get a little more white. Kind of go behind that right there. So let's go ahead and wipe that away. All right. Okay, there's a start. All right, there's a start. I'm going to just kind of let that sit a minute, wipe some of this off my hands, just a little. Who am I missing? Hi, Jasper. All right, so more baby wipes. Go through a lot. I can go through a half a pack of baby wipes on a large, like, poster collage. It goes fast. Okay, so now I just don't want to make too much of a mess everywhere, so I'm just getting the bulk of it off. All right, let's go ahead and dry. I can probably, after I dry this, move my wax paper because I don't think I'll be painting right up to the edge. Well, not in this, not like this anyway. Although I did miss a little spot right here. You kind of flash out a little bit, so try to have the true color as I can. Okay, it's not 100% dry, but I think it's dry enough for me to move on. Move on, people! What's Keisha would say. All right, so now I'm going to get back over here with my white, my bucket of stars. Add a little bit more water to this. A nice, soft, fluffy brush, and you want to tap off the excess because otherwise you're going to have big blobs of paint. I want very little blobs of paint, so tap, 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 tap. ASMR, Rachel. And if you get too much or you don't like where they go, you can, while it's wet here, because you got the matte medium on there, wipe it away, which I'm going to get rid of some of them here in a minute. Put a little bit in the portal there. And the longer you tap, the smaller they're going to get because it's getting less and less on the brush. And we can add a couple of planets. You can do that with drawing it in with color pencil. You can punch some planets. You can use marbles. There's a lot of things you can use to make planets with. We'll see how much time we have. Okay, let me throw that clean water. Let's get some of the ones off of here. Don't want too many over there, there. Just a few, get rid of a few. All right, so now I'm going to dry this again. And it does take a minute to dry these stars. So again, we could have, anything to be a planet or two. We'll see. I don't really want to stop and cut out planets right now, but we can have a couple planets. We can have a shooting star. We can use color pencil to make a trail, a star. Hang on, let's see. Here, let me get a Posca and a white pencil. Or maybe in a blue pencil. Let's see. Okay, so maybe if we just want a shooting star, we'll have one. What the? Come back here, pencil. All right. Do I want one there? Do I want one coming across? Maybe I'll have one coming across. But I got to remember I'm going to have my watch hands coming out here. Maybe I could have it come here. I think I do need a planet right there. I do need a planet. Let's see. Let me find something I can just cut something out of. Hang on. Do I want an orange one? Maybe. Or kind of a... Let's see what color. I'm thinking an orange. Something a little brighter because of the copper in here. So let's just freehand a circle. Do you think we can do that? Okay, let's see. Maybe right in here. You could draw it, punch it, turn it over, and you'll be able to see where you've messed it up or not got it circular. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little tacky glue here. And it needs to be right about there. Because this watch hand is going to shoot right up to that planet. Okay. But first, we got to do some water. Let's get our brush. Let that sit a minute. Oh, I was going to do like a little, around some of these stars, maybe just a little bit of a blue aura around some of them. You know, put that around a few, and maybe even, where do I want a shooting star? I don't want it to be too conspicuous. Maybe just a little one right there. Just a little shooting star like that. Maybe that's all it needs. Just that little one right there. Yes. So now I think I want some waterfalls here. Some water. I'm not sure. So I'm just going to pick up some of my white paint over here. And let's just see. Let's see what I want to do. Maybe have a little coming down here. Do I want it off the page? Probably not. Let's just have a little bit. Do I want it curled? Probably not. Let's just have it come kind of straight down. Shh, shh, shh. And we could add extra white highlights to some of it. And then real softly, you can kind of get a dry brush, or you could go in there with a baby wipe on, that's been wiped down on your finger to try to get it to have a feather, a soft, smoky look. Kind of makes it soft. You get in there with a gel pen. I don't like using gel pens if I'm going to varnish because that can lift. Gel pens can lift if you varnish. I'm overdoing it. I might need to go back in here with a little bit of blue, maybe. Got a little thick right in there. Kind of soften that down a little. And then I can take a baby wipe, a clean baby wipe, and pick up some of the white and mash it into the baby wipe. Mash it in. So that's all mashed in the baby wipe. And you can do some softer mist. It's a little tricky going over the ditch there. Very subtle, like. Maybe a little more right in there. And turn the baby wipe if you want to kind of wipe some away or smooth it out a little. Kind of like that. And then maybe if I want any of this a little softer, I can do that. It's still wet there. Gotta be careful. Just soften this up a little. Could put a little spaceship in there. That would be nice. kind of peeking out from under there, but I don't want to get too much detail. I think we're pretty good with what we got. And then do I want... All right, I'm going to stop on that for a minute. I'm thinking, do I want to glow around this? Do I want this curved in more? I could make this more dramatic around the planet right in there with the brush. Like, let's get that right in there. Like that, maybe around that. And if you go over too much of your stars, you can always throw some more stars or go in there with the Posca and dot in your stars again. Maybe that needs a little bit of a shadow in there. Let's see. Let's see if I can mix that. That's pretty good. A little bit more of a shadow between those two pieces there. Like that. Okay. I don't want that to be gray. So I'm going to kind of make my black go a little bit further out because it has a little bit of gray, blue to it. And I want to get rid of that kind of tint. And again, I want to varnish all these. So that will make everything cohesive with a varnish. Okay. Now, let's try this. I'm going to do my watch hands. I didn't get my black pencil. I want a little bit darker. See, because it's acrylic paint, a matte acrylic paint, I can come in here with pencil and do all kinds of things on top of the paint. All right, so now let's go ahead and get my Posca here. There's Hubster. We have leftover roast. All he has to do is heat it up. So we're good. I'll have to fix him any lunch. All right. So just kind of making sure that any place that I need some more stars where I kind of put the black paint, just kind of make it more cohesive. All right, now I want to do my watch hands, and that's probably all I probably have time for, guys. Oh, I wanted a couple shells. I did want some shells. Shells in here would be good. So I'm going to have to do a couple shells. I'm still streaming, honey. Let's do this now. Thanks everybody for being here. I know I probably have missed some chat, but I will go back, check up on chat, and especially if you're new, I'll try to go find your channel as long as you have content, that is. I mean, a lot of people follow each other and don't have any videos. I don't do that if you don't have any videos. All right, so see what I'm talking about? We need a couple. We just need a little bit of something going on here. Let me get another, starfish. We need some starfish. That's one, I think, right there. One of the ones that black and white one. It looks kind of like one anyway. I don't know if it is in fact. And I think we could probably use... I think I need to put a little bit of gold on that one, but it would be, I think I'll cut that one out. Just add a little bit of some, what do you call it? What do you call this color? Golden dazzle nickel to make it a coppery color. We might do that. So these are the details that I like doing on collages that usually when we're working on them, we don't get to because we run out of time. And it's my favorite part. So having a lot of these collages started in a couple of books that I want to work in this year might be good, because then we can have something already kind of started, because you see what the base is, right? You see how we start the base. But we don't get to do as much of the details as we like. I say we, when you're here with me, because we don't have time. You know, we run out of time. Somebody at the door upstairs talking to somebody. Doesn't sound like he's talking to the cats. I don't know. Maybe he is talking to the cats. All right. Okay, we got 3 more starfish here. Let's see where we want them. Probably going to want one up here. So we can add maybe a glow or something around that one. Maybe one here. Maybe one down here. It kind of looks too lined up. I think we need this one over there. It doesn't show up very much. But I like this big one there, but it probably needs to be there. No, I liked it the other way better. I like this one there and that one there. We probably need something right here. I don't think I have any more. I might have to just make one up. Make one up out of here. So let's just take this shell. I mean, I could dig another starfish out, but, you know, I'm just going to make one here. I probably should draw it a little bit just because it'd be easier. Can have different size arms. Something like this. We'll turn it over and be surprised at what it looks like. Okay. Let's see what that looks like. It needs to be a little more round. It's a little too spiky. Let's shape them down just a little. Something like this right in there. Okay, I'm going to glue these down real quick with some tacky glue, which I'm just going to put a little dab of tacky glue on that palette so I can pick it up with my finger and glue this down. One there. There we go. Y'all still with the tour? Hi, Fernando. Thanks for stopping in. I'm just trying to finish up some of the details, which to me is the fun part and the, you know, the exciting part, if you will, but the parts that we don't get to as much because it takes so long to do everything else. All right. Okay. All right, now what I want to do is the watch hands, and I guess that will probably all we'll have time for. All right, I'm going to I probably need a ruler for this, and I do need a smaller. I do need a small Posca, not the big Posca. Let's see if I have one working at the moment. Let's see if this one's working. Yes, maybe. Maybe. Let's try. So I'm going to want these watch hands to go from here to there. Let's see if this Posca is working. And then this one will cut through this star I'll get rid of the watch hand that's there. Cut through the star here. That. Let's do this a little bit darker. Not quite that dark. There we go. That's better. Then, do I want it going off into space? Maybe I do. Let's go behind that and there we go. Now, I just need a little bit of blue pencil. Let me dry that real quick so I don't smear it. Bit of blue shadow under the beam. Probably can't see it, but I can. All right. My only thing is it's just a little too thick of water. I would like to thin the water out. You know what I mean? Make it not so prominent. And maybe a little bit of something white on the top of these. I might want a little glow. Don't know. Let's see what happens. Just want a little bit of a glow on top of these here. Let's put it with the Posca and then we'll go around it. Maybe a little bit here. Kind of just tap. Almost like they could be bubbles or something. Kind of just knock them back just a little. Just to kind of bring them out just a little bit. Maybe a little bit of, get rid of some of the, just make it a little darker. Something like that. Then let's dry. And take the white pencil. Where's my white pencil? And then kind of go around that planet one more time there. Something like this. What do y'all think? And I sign it with a pencil. Sign it with a pencil. Very light. $20.23. So what do y'all think? Are you going to add a seahorse? If I had an astronaut writing on him, I would. I don't think I'll put a seahorse, but I do need to kind of maybe put a little bit of a little bit of shadow on some of this, and just a little bit more, detail, but not too much. Maybe a little bit more something under here. Kind of get it to set down in there a little bit. But I think I'm going to call it done. So let's see if you can get the color. There we go. There's the color. Let me turn the light down. Oops. Let me turn the color down the brightness down just a little. There we go. That's a little bit more true to color right there. It's pretty dark blue. It's pretty dark blue. So, I mean, I could add, I got that one fish. I could add a fish or two. What do I do with those fish? I could add a little fish, or two here. That might be good. I might do that. So, but I think I like it. I hope y'all like it too. I hope y'all had fun. Thank you, Pacola. Thank you, Kathy Berg. Don't forget, Kathy Berg and Colleen. Are y'all streaming tomorrow, Kathy? You and Colleen at whose channel? They alternate between Kathy Berg and Colleen Scrap Chick. They alternate between channels. So they stream on Tuesdays about 10 a.m. Eastern. But I'm not sure whose channel they're going to stream on tomorrow. You want to say real quick while I cut out a fish? Whose channel are you going to stream on tomorrow, Kathy? And Pacola's usually their mod as well, and she voices in theirs. Okay, on Kathy Berg's channel, so she'll be on at 10 Eastern, and I'm sure Pacola's probably already snapping in a link. Thanks, Julie. Thanks, Julie, for my axolotl. I don't have enough glue there. My axolotl article. Oh, didn't want it on there. Let's pick that up. Maybe have a somewhere. Let's see where I want it. Maybe probably need a couple of them, but we'll put one right here. Maybe I'll put another one or two, but there we go. Looks like he's dying. Well, does it look like he's going over the fall? It looks like he's dead. Well, either way. Thanks, Devin. No, what was a stencil? You thought, what was a stencil? No stencils. No stencils in this one, although I have used stencils before, but there's no stencils in this one, Fernando. And good to see you, by the way. All right, guys, I'm heading out. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Don't forget Kathy Berg. Let me click on a couple names here. Kathy Berg streams tomorrow. Devin does, she's retired now, so she does some awesome jelly printing and art journaling. So go follow Devin Rex for Art. There's Keisha's Creations. If you want to do any marketplace shopping, she's always fun. And there's Janet. Janet, what are you doing today? Let's find out what Janet's doing. Ann Lar, she has a channel. Ann Lar has a channel. I'm just seeing who else has a channel right here. Thanks, Maseki. Carol, Canadian Artisan. She usually streams with Ann. So those two stream together. And you're welcome, Devin. So I'm just kind of seeing if Janet knows what she's doing today before I head out. And thanks, everybody, for being here. Hope y'all enjoyed it and seeing some of my collage mixed media journals again. I'll make this a thumbnail for you, so this will show up on a thumbnail. Okay, guys, y'all have a great day. We'll see you later. Thanks, guys. Bye.